Get 'em, Jimmy. Where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty. I'm the cracking. We stacking. Chips, all of this. What I want. Plus money winners. That's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated. Bouquett produced. Play the juice. Letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a legal weapon cause we lead. Oh yeah. Pubbing. We be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, May 22nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. I got out everything, all the heaviness, all the anger. I got it all out yesterday. It's time just to be focused and go out and get that cash. That's all it is. That's the time. That's what we're doing right here and right now. The worst case scenario happened in Operation Garcia yesterday. The game went to overtime. Look, I knew that was a possibility with the action. There's consequences to the decisions we make, gambling-wise and in life. You just have to deal with it. That's all. You have to deal with it. So the worst case scenario happened when I was at my lowest. Look, that's life. Life will throw curveballs at you. It will hit you. It just unrelenting. It will mess with you. And what you got to do is stand strong in the face of it. In the face of adversity, stand strong and get that cash. That's what we're going to do today. No more wallowing in self-pity. I have chosen to hammer this Operation Garcia, which I've tracked and watched succeed 2 straight years with glowing numbers. It's not succeeding. That's okay. I'm hammering it again today. We have NHL back in business. We have futures, gorgeous futures, alive and well. 2K if the Panthers win the conference, 4K if they win the cup. And then we have another, we get 3,600 if the Oilers win the cup. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. These are the battles that we face. It's not all going to be glory. There's going to be times where you got to scrape yourself up off the concrete and have your fists flying. That's what we're doing here today. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Tori Coker in the house. Yes, Tori Coker, there's no more difficult feeling than the process that you had yesterday. And, this is all learning situations, and you gotta, there's a reason why Peter was talking about wanting to know what your action was in NBA. So you got to trust yourself in the face of anybody on the other side. Doesn't matter. Trust your gut, trust your cap, and that's why you're here. That's why you're respected. It's okay. Those things happen, and when they happen, you got to recognize them and never let it happen again. That's all. That's all. Justin McKelvey, stacks play of the day. Tucker RBI here. Tucker RBI. Oh, 2 RBIs. Is that right? No. Stacks play of the day. 2. I don't know. Oh, do you have? Oh, God. Sorry, I'm tripping. Sorry. Lack of sleep here. Justin McKelvey, Soto over 1.5 bases, and Tucker RBI. I missed that. Okay, that is copied and pasted. Justin, thank you for sharing that with us. So 2 stacks play of the days from our guy, Justin McKelvey. That is copied and pasted. There we go. Let's get this up here. Beautiful. LJ from H-Town in the house. Judge over 1.5 bases, and he's on the under. I'm first half full game under. I was a little late to the party. I still got a 207, but the 208s were available yesterday. I'm on the first half under, full game under, and then obviously I need the unders badly due to the. Oh shoot! Sorry, that's the. What the hell's that? Sorry, I just get this copied and pasted. Key to copy and paste the cappers in the chat section. There's Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, Philly Eagle, Flyer, Subhuman Gaucho, Morgan Spooner, Rangers Moneyline, Royals Moneyline, Subhuman Gaucho, Tarasenko over 1.5 shots on goal. Tarasenko had not a bad stint with the Rangers last year. 38 games, 25 points, and they didn't want him. And I'm sure he's got not that you need motivation in the Western Conference Final or Eastern Conference Final at Madison Square Garden. You should hear Kachuk talking about how excited he is to play in New York and the Eastern Conference Final. And I mean, it's special. I've only seen one game in my life, one hockey game. I've seen a basketball game. I saw one hockey game in my life at Madison Square Garden. It was a 3-3 tie. That's how old I am. It was a 3-3 tie against the Quebec Nordiques. Billy Friedrich here. Pig milk play of the day. It was a wild game. I remember well. I forget who. I think it was the Rangers needed the Islanders to lose to make the playoffs, and so everybody was score watching, and the Islanders won, and they were booing the Islanders. Joey Harb, Gerald Jones, ready to go. Says, what a basketball game last night. Best bet, San Diego Padres, money line. Zoe faces Pacers up 3, just need to inbound the ball and steal home court from the Celtics. Wild footage. Yeah, Zoe, it was it cost me 2 player props. Both Brown and Tatum went over in overtime. Derek White could have gone over, in overtime. Considering that the game, was like 50 points over the total, or 40 points over the total. Could have been worse. It could have been worse. Frankie Ritako in the house, ready to go. Ron Crawford, MLB's spreadsheet dog play of the day, running real nice, is Seattle Mariners. I'm interested in joining you on the Seattle Mariners here today. Interested. It's going to be a great game. Again, I mean, it's New York. It's the greatest city in the world. Who doesn't want to play there? Whether it be baseball, basketball, hockey. I mean, you just want to do it in New York City, man. Smooth balls play today. Cole Raggins. I made it my whole plan. I switched plans late in that one. Well, first off, I was going to bet the first 3 under and the first 5 under last night. And I was going to move the first 3 under down to 1.5. But I just wanted some sign from the books that this extremely low total, was going, because at the time last night it had been moving to the over. Woke up this morning, it moved pretty briskly to the under. Now, when I was betting it, it was in the process of moving back up. So we'll see where it is when we bang this out. But that's my only MLB action at this point. I'm on and then that was the change. I was going to bet the first 3 under 1.5 at plus 135. And I got cold feet. Instead, I bet the first 3 under 2 at minus 113. First 3 under 2 at minus 113. But I'm also on the first 5 under 3.5. I got that plus money. I'm very curious to see what it is at Pinnacle right now, because when I bet it at Bet 365, it had moved to plus 100 while it was minus 110 at Pinnacle. That's a pretty big difference to have. So I'm very interested to see if, Pinnacle's obviously not going to follow 365's lead, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. Let's get this Cole Raggins player prop from our guy Jay Smooth in the house. Bo Jackson ready to go. My dude in the house. Slatsy says, a Panther Stars final would be heaven for my wallet. This comes from Slatsy, 45. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I only know one capper that has picked the winner of the Kentucky Derby and the winner of the Preakness. One capper in the entire world. And that is Tammy, Slatsy's beautiful wife. She becomes even more beautiful when she's handing out winners left, right, and center. Tammy has picked the winner. And it's not like she hammered the board. She had one pick for the Derby and one pick for the Preakness. Tammy is the best of us. If we could all just find our own Tammy, life would be so much easier. Imagine waking up in the morning and having your wife whisper a winner into your ear instead of get your shit off the floor. Sorry. Slatsy says the over is hit in the last 18 of 19 Panthers Rangers games and is 9-0-1 last 10, 5.5. What am I missing? Slatsy, it's very interesting that you've said that. I was hoping for a 6. And you know me, I lean to unders all the time. I have not moved on the game tonight. I have doubled up on the game tomorrow. We're going to talk about both. Serious business ready to roll. NJ Striker. Von Polo says he can't hear me. Jeez. Give me a thumbs. Jose, we got thumbs. Okay. Von Polo, you didn't miss much. Just don't worry. We haven't gotten to the capping yet, but get the volume fixed when we get into the capping. Rocco Rogers in the house, missed on Giants money line with extremely rare Doval meltdown, but hit Chapman on the bases and home run. Rangers day, says Rocco Rogers. Mikey Wilkerson on the Dodgers -1.5 and the Guardians money line. I'm going to copy that. Kadesh in the house. We've missed you, KD, man. All these giant basketball games. We don't have KD's input. Nice to have you back in business. Steve G, Pacers +10 and the Oakland A's. Nice job, Steve G. How about Aaron Brooks, man? How about Aaron Brooks? Now, it was another good start from Aaron Brooks. So shout out to our guy, Aaron Brooks, a friend of the Nut Flush Allen family. And if you're a friend of the Nut Flush Allen family, then you're part of our family. Aaron Brooks, Jose, is going to be a part of my rotation now. Now, it sucks when you cheer for a man so much and you believe in the struggle that he's going through to find a place in Major League Baseball at 34 years old with a young family. So I hope that doesn't get in the way of me. But you look, it pushed yesterday. Oh, by the way, that push. So I went 6-5 in MLB. That pushed, but I said on the show, and I don't know, and I keep going back. Like I said, why is it 4.5 at -120 right now? I need to bet it right now. Of course, when I went to bet it after the show, it was a 4 at +100, so it pushed. Oof. My dude likes the Tigers game first 5 under as well. I like hearing that. Oh, and there's Gavin Henry in the house. Gavin Henry. Love it. Gavin Henry, a trainer at the beautiful horse track in Jamaica. And Gavin, I just often dream about having a low bag summit of champions down in Jamaica. All right, Top Set in the house. Top Set, I missed you, man. Ken Mizrahi ready to go. Red Girl in the house. Red Girl OG, low bagger. Billy Friedrich got a ticket on the Rangers to win the East at +500 and Stars to win the West at +500. Need to decide if I want to hedge at all. It's tricky, Billy. It's tricky. It is. I got the 5-1 on the East and 10-1 for the Panthers for the Cup. I got the 9-1 for the Oilers for the Cup. So I did just in case. I just can't. I'm just having a tough time with worst case scenarios right now. So I did parlay the Rangers and the Stars. I got like +326 or something like that. Just put 350 on it. It pays 1,100. So if the worst case scenario happens, I grab 1,100 and we move on. I get it. Mikey Money in the house. Mikey Money running so hot right now. Crushing MLB. I hope you are tuned into Last Call Monday to Friday at 6 p.m. right here on Pub Sports Radio. Mikey Money in the house. Nasty Nate with the Clovers. I mean, there's a lot to be concerned about. I can't wait to talk about both those basketball games. We'll finish that with that. Primetime 99 says Giants blown save was unbelievable. Ken Mizrahi says feeling good about Twins Nats over at 9. And Slatsy's already played the over 5.5. Primetime 99 also on Cole Raggins over 6.5 Ks. Full game under 7.5. Kong's Clips in the house. His brother need to know what you think about Baltimore game that will be finished from yesterday. So I had them in the parlay with the last leg, but not sure how I feel about the break. Are you sure that with the date change that they're going to count your action? I would find that out, Kong, because with the date change in the continued game, it's voided often, most of the time, almost all the time. So I would see if that's the case, Kong, because at this point, I have not capped the second half of that game. I know that Jose has looked at it. He asked me if we were capping it. I said, I'm not, but you can. So if Jose wants to dig in here while I cap NHL, hopefully he can do that. I am not at this point. All right, let's go. Ken Mizrahi says we love our low bagger team. Gavin Henry says got one for you today, Jimmy. Horse, an Indy race 10-1 on the money line. Quarter horse racing. The short sprints has been his thing lately. Gavin, I will copy and paste that. Gavin Henry giving us a quarter horse look. And again, don't forget, we got the Belmont Stakes here in about 2.5 weeks. Belmont Stakes in 2.5 weeks. Okay, so great to see all you guys. Rocco Rogers loving the Royals. First 5 today, +106. Truth Teller in the house. And what Ken Mizrahi says, I bet Berube to be the next coach of the Leafs. Are they really going to wait till October to pay you out? That's crazy. Why would they do that? I mean, it's nuts. I am shocked to hear that. Tori Coker says, Year of the Rat. I don't even want to get into it. Redbeard CLC in the house. There is Trot Wham. I saw some footage of a show that we are making, and Trotway and Big Boss are a big part of it. And God, I love you guys so much, man. Watching you and Boss on camera, I mean, you just emanate. Like when you watch a couple guys on camera, and you're like, God, I wish I was sitting right on that couch smoking a blunt with those two guys. That's what every time I see Wham and Big Boss, whether it be on camera or in person. Well, on person, I'm like, okay, this is heaven, you know. But on camera, I'm like, God, I just wish I was sitting right beside you smoking a blunt. Slatsy in the house. Lucky Lefty, O'Brien Palmer, King Al says all season I've been on the right side. Boston, rather, it's the spread of the total. I can't get. Oh, I haven't been on the right side. They're tricky. Mikey Money says, bad news for all you Florida backers. I got Rangers winning the cup at 1,800 and 7.5 to 1, and I don't plan to lose, says Mikey Money playing God. Mikey Money playing God. Andrew G in now says, Jays hit a new low. Shout out to MLB worst. White Sox booed off the field, fade the Jays, and be richly rewarded. Look, it's great. You know, give me a freebie on the Astros to win the division. I just wish I bet more on them. $500, not enough. I mean, it was great. 86.5. There's a couple chats I'm in. They're just Blue Jays only, and these guys still believe. And I don't bother like going in there and just ruining it for them. It's nice to see hope in the eyes of losers. All right, great to see all you guys. Let's get to work and get that cash. Shout out to everybody joining us. Let's roll. We start in the NHL. It has not been a good playoffs, but what do you do in your last bet? Well, I won my last bet, right? That's all I need. Won the last bet. The record is not being shown because we're afraid of it. So let's. Oh, it's because I didn't send it. Jesus, that was my fault. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Jose. I didn't even send it. That's all my fault. Let me tell you guys the record right now. Sorry, how did I not send it? I did cash the $500 parlay on the Oilers to win the series and the Panthers to win the series. You could say it was a little closer than one would have wanted, sure. 208 wins, 225 losses. Now, that sounds worse than it is. Average line's plus 110. So I'm hitting 48%. I'm down 3.82 units on the year. My ROI is minus 0.88%. And I will be in the black. And I'm not even talking including the futures, which I will be in the black. I'm in the black right now, including futures. I haven't included that. I'm saying in the regular season and the playoffs. We close the regular season up 9 units. I'm going to get to the black here in the playoffs. So that's the record. 208 wins, 225 losses, 48%, down 3.82 units, ROI minus 0.88%, average line plus 110. And Sweetie says 3.2 units doable this week. Man, I'm going to be up 2.5 units here. Not tonight, though, at this point. I'm a little hesitant. Ken Mizrahi says Bet365 says next coach of the Leafs in October. So technically they have the right to make me wait. Ken, look, I don't know how good their public relations are, but I would call them up. If you need it, if you need the cash. If you'd rather just wait to get paid out because, it's sort of like having a little boost for football season, that's another option for you, of course. Okay. Steve G says Oilers got to beat the Stars first. Probably not happening. Look, I want my Panthers action here, and I'm not scared of the Stars, although they did beat two very good hockey teams, especially Vegas Avalanche back-to-backs. Not an easy task, but let's get to work here. Florida Panthers 52-24-6, 26-11-4 on the road. At the New York Rangers 55-23-4, 30-11-0 at home. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York. We have Sergei Bobrovsky versus Igor Shesterkin. So obviously, Slatsy, when I read out two Russian goaltenders, I immediately think of the under. Immediately. When I think of Florida's defense, I immediately think of the under. But let's talk this all out here, and let's go over line movement. Let's also touch on the cash. It's a one-game, standalone game with two even teams, so we can it's not the spot where, obviously a pro is not going to be betting a minus 240 favorite, nothing like that. So let's talk about the line history here. Florida Panthers are at minus 108. The Rangers have been disrespected by the market, all playoffs long. And I can explain it. And I will here. Now, even if you explain it, it doesn't necessarily mean it makes sense. And those of you who've been laughing as you've been stacking with the Rangers as dogs or, pick'ems at home. Excellent work. Rangers opened up at -103. They're now -102. That's it. The Rangers have had a little bit of time where they've been the favorite. They were the favorite at 4 this morning, 6 this morning, 8 this morning. But they're not as we stand right now. Let's get into the total for this one as well. From a total side of things, as Slatsy was discussing, 5.5. This 5.5 opened up at even money. There's been a 9-cent move to the over. And Slatsy broke down why he thinks there should have been a 9-cent move to the over. Michael Johnson saying over. And Justin McKelvey says moved on the over 5.5, need more action. Rocco Rogers says Trouba over 3.5 block shots. Trouba's been spectacular. And my dude says, I think Stars would have lost to the Avs 1,000% if Nichushkin didn't screw them. Says also, I think Oilers win in 6. Too much talent on that team, and none of the players will be screwed by. I don't think that. Look, Nichushkin hurt, but Rupee Hintz being out of the lineup hurt Dallas more than Nichushkin being out hurt Colorado. Now that's arguable, of course. TJ says, "Let's go Rangers," and Steve G says he has a drinking problem, not Coke. You really think that? I won't get into it, but yeah, it's just a drinking problem. Really easy to be drinking at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Drinking all night. So easy. I can't do it. You see me in San Antonio, I can't do it. I shut down at 3. I can't at 4. I used to when I was younger. All the comics were, using blow. And I could drink till 4 in the morning. But when they were up at 6 in the morning, wasn't the alcohol fueling them, but I digress. Sergei Bobrovsky versus Igor Shesterkin. Bobrovsky in the playoffs, 8-3, 2.37 ERA, 0.902. My dude says, I disagree with me. I think Nichushkin, who was leading goals in playoffs, more valuable, bro. Come on. Oh, I couldn't disagree with you more, my dude. Couldn't disagree with you more. He scored power play goals in front of the net. Their power play was excellent without him. So, look, it's fine to disagree, but I couldn't disagree with you more. Rupee Hintz, the number 1 line centerman. You don't think he's more important than Nichushkin, but it's all fun. Zoe Faye says, welcome to PSR Gold members. Thank you, Zoe. Now a gold member, which means $50 horse races for Zoe every Thursday and Friday. Every Thursday and Friday for our guy, Zoe. I love it. Thank you for rocking with us. Okay, so Shesterkin is the best goalie left in the playoffs. He was great in the regular season, but he wasn't great all regular season. He came on. He was the best goalie in the league in the second half. 36-17-2, 2.58 goals against average, 913 save percentage, 4 shutouts. In the playoffs, 8-2, 2.40 goals against average, 923 save percentage. Florida power play in the playoffs, 22%. Penalty killing, 86.1%. New York Rangers power play, 31.4%. It's been very good, but their penalty killing has been unbelievable. Unbelievable, and we'll dive into that a little bit more here. 89.5% penalty killing. And Kong's Clip says $100 this Thursday. Did Slaughter win on Friday, Jose? Oh, Slaughter did win on Friday. Okay, good call, Kong's Clips. So $100 horse race tomorrow. So yeah, it did. And so I was thinking about TJ Parks. So TJ Parks won on Wednesday then. Or sorry, on Thursday. TJ Parks won on Thursday. Okay, so we need, and I don't know if TJ Parks has gotten that cash, so we'll find out. Perlo Wisdom says Panthers have the best two-way forwards in the league. Panthers are the best defensive team in the league. Now, there were some stats that said the Winnipeg Jets were better, but you know what? When all your defensemen are 6 feet tall, how good could, when push comes to shove in the toughest games of the year, the Panthers are the best defensive team in the league. And we're going to dive into that here. But the New York Rangers penalty killing is absolutely unbelievable. Here we go. New York is in the conference final for the second time in 3 seasons, the 5th since 2012. It last reached the Stanley Cup in 2014. The Rangers swept the Capitals in the first round, 1-6 against Carolina, 2 very impressive victories. And they have a ton of depth at forward. That is where they have a strength. Now, I don't know if you say they have a strength over the Panthers. I would say they do at forward. And it's slight. But Zibanejad has been so good. He wasn't that good in the regular season. 3 goals and 11 assists. Trocheck has been amazing. He was a Panther and he was a Hurricane. Trocheck, so they each have 14 points. Kreider still has wheels for an old guy. And is there anybody better in front of the net now that Joey Pavelski needs corrective lenses? I think he's the best in front of the net. I mean, God, he's so good. He reminds you a little bit of Dave Andreychuk. Now, he's not as good as Dave Andreychuk in front of the net. He's a better overall player. But Lafreniere has been so good. Kakko he's left in his wake. Where's Capo? Kakko, he's still out on the ice. Panarin, 11 points. He's been very good. Kreider has 10 points, as we talked about. So let's first talk about the underlying concerns for the Rangers here. The first underlying concern is 5-on-5. Their special teams have been so good. Their goaltending is so good. Now, that's crucial. That's so important. So important. But 5-on-5, they've been outscored 13-12. Now, here's another red flag for the Rangers. They have a +9 goal differential, +9. If you look at sitting here right now, 8-2, a +9 is okay. They're a -6.4 shot differential. Now, you could look at me and say, well, look, we have the best goaltending in the league. We can handle that. We have the best special teams. We can handle that. It's still not good. You're getting outshot 6.4 shots per game, and you're losing 5-on-5. And remember, 4 of those games were against the Capitals, who suck. So they're allowing 32.5 shots on goal per game. They're shooting 26.1. Okay, so there's some negatives that need to be talked about. Let's talk about the positives. Best goaltending in playoffs, and their penalty kill is unbelievable. And the Panthers' power play is not being so good. Sammy Reinhart's not being very good in the playoffs, and we'll go over that in a second. Listen to what they've done on the penalty kill. Playing a man down through 10 games of the playoffs, they're even in goal differential. That is unbelievable. And we saw it in the Hurricane series. Hurricanes getting all these power plays, and the Rangers more dangerous. They've scored 4 shorthanded goals. 4 shorthanded goals in 10 games. They've allowed 4 power play goals. They completely dominated Carolina on special teams. So it would be fair for you to say right now, why would they not dominate the Florida Panthers on special teams? Carolina had the best penalty kill in the league at 86.4%. The Flyers were there for a lot of the year, but they fell off late. They had the second-ranked power play, 26.9%, and the best power play in the second half of the year. And New York outscored them 7-2 on special teams. And the character department. The Rangers have character. Kreider, Trouba, Trocheck, Zibanejad, but those Kreider, Trouba. So we haven't even talked about Adam Fox on defense yet. They're 2-0 in overtime games, 2-0. Interesting thing about the Rangers, and this is a crucial thing to keep in mind as we cap this series together. I told you about them being only up 9 goals. They're up 9 goals in the first period. That is a crucial thing for this that we need to keep in mind. We got to focus on. We got to watch. They're +9 in the first period. They've outscored the opposition 24-15 in the first period. They have 5 comeback wins in the playoffs. They led the NHL with 28 in the regular season. Listen to this stat. They're 3-1 when trailing after the first period. So, we're always watching the games and live betting. 3-1 when trailing after the first. They're 2-1 when trailing after the second. It's going to be a tough team to beat. Let's talk about Florida. In the conference final for the second straight season, when the Stanley Cup happened last year, Florida was excited to be there. And Vegas was business. Because Vegas and that core group had lost in the Stanley Cup final. It's crucial that Florida lost in the Stanley Cup final. In NFL, you don't want to back a team that lost in the Super Bowl year before. I don't feel that way in NHL. Now, these long springs and summers are tough on the team in the long run. We've seen it wear down the Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida, second straight conference final. They beat Tampa Bay Lightning in 5. They beat the Bruins in 6. Tkachuk, 14 points. Barkov, 13. They've both been, Barkov to me, there's been times when Tkachuk has sort of been invisible, or where is he? Is he dealing with an injury? He had to go through the hernia last year. Tkachuk's a big, tough guy, and I expect him to be spectacular in the series. Carter Verhaeghe, 11 points, 6 goals, 5 assists. He's a sniper of the highest regard. And Reinhart's not being good enough. 5 goals and 4 assists. He scored 57 in the regular season. He needs to step up. Reinhart scored 27 goals on the power play. He has just won in 11 games. And we know what the Rangers penalty kill is going to do. If Reinhart does not score power play goals, if the Panthers, if it's even when the Florida Panthers have a power play like it was in the Hurricanes, the Rangers are going to win the series. So there's things we can look out for. Can the Panthers power play do something? And if they can, they probably should be bet. But at this point, don't you want to watch and see? I have an angle in the Oilers Stars game, but I don't see where the angle is here, other than you could say my angle is the Rangers are being disrespected by the marketplace and the Rangers keep paying me out. They keep paying me out at plus money spots. If you want to say that, that's completely valid. Completely valid. So why are the Panthers a clear favorite? And it's because of these statistics. They were the best defensive team in the league this year. You know, again, we talked about how Winnipeg, some stats favored them, but I do not believe it. Their defense, they used the same 6 defensemen in all playoff games, all 11. Montour, Forsling, and Forsling's been so good. Ekblad's not being as good as I thought. Ekman Larsson's been okay. Kulikov and Mikola has been very good. Florida killed 15 of 16 Boston Bruin power plays. You know, McAvoy, Pasternak, that's a pretty good power play. Florida is plus 8.9 in shots on goal. They get 33 shots a game. They allow 24.1. It's very, very good. The Panthers are 7-0 when leading or tied after the second period. Because they don't sit back on defense and take a bunch of shots. 7-0. So where they succeed is where the Rangers have taken advantage of their opponents. But let's go back to the defensemen. They've gotten 25 points from their defensemen. 7 goals and 18 assists. That's 9 more than the Rangers. Is that enough for them to be a clear favorite starting out on the road? That's up to you. That's up to you. Thank you, Gift to Cartel, my man. There's Wine Time Sports in the house. So I want to read your comments badly. Jarek White in the house. Pearl of Wisdom says, I'm not as high as you on the actual defenseman, but their forwards make up for it. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Let's see what else. Lucky Lefty on the Panthers first period, -0.5. Jarek White on the under 5.5, which if this was a 6, I would have paid for it. If this starts getting hammered to the over, I'll pay for an under 6. TJ says everyone talks about 5-on-5 being an issue, but it has been all year. This isn't new. If they can break even 5-on-5, they win the series. That's fair. Steve G says 3 teams have depth. The Oilers have none. I don't agree with that, but that's all fun. Nothing to worry about. My dude says, truly believe Oilers shit on the Stars, and the Stars can't keep up with McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Bouchard, and Hyman. Yeah, the no depth thing. This is the most depth they've ever had in the McDavid era. You could say they don't have as much depth as Dallas or Dallas, Florida, and New York. I think that would be fair. You could say they're the 4, that'd be fair. But they have quite a bit of depth. Pelly, I'm not on the over. Swig. So let's be clear about that. I've not bet this hockey game. Do I like? If I got a 6, I'd be on it, but I'm not going to take it at 5.5. If I had a free bet, yes, I'd be on the under. And I want to bet the first period under. The thing is why do I? Just because I've been cashing on it consistently through the playoffs. I need to watch them play. I need to see what the hell's going on. And you want first period unders when teams really don't like each other and there's a lot on the line. And you don't want them to not like each other too much because then there's power plays. Perlo Wisdom says the Rangers have high percentage shooters. Billy Friedrich said, I think the Stars beat Edmonton easily. Such a difference in that. I don't. Slatsy, last 10 games between Panthers Rangers, winning team has scored at least 4 goals. Billy Friedrich says, I think McDavid's hiding an injury. He's not looked right. Yeah, I think he's hurt. But not. He's still fine. Now, Draisaitl is the best player on the Oilers right now, which is wild. So there you go. And let's see any more action here. RVD 420s on the over 5.5. The coin says Florida 4-1 on the road in the playoffs. New York 4-1 at home. That's a wash. Kenny V says this screams Gokster special, no goal first 10 minutes. I just need to see these guys. Steve G says Rangers versus Panthers, the real Stanley Cup, the best teams in the NHL this season. Sure, that's fair. I that's absolutely fair. Andrew D says the Panthers have experience as a deciding factor. Benjamin Mill says this is a live game plus money on whoever is trailing. I have no problem with that. A coin saying Florida's -4 in the first period. So Florida -4 in the first period, Rangers +9. Gift the cartel on the Rangers money line. Wine Time Sports moving on Texas, Philadelphia. Yeah, I can understand you being on that over. Perlo Wisdom on Panthers in 6 at +380 and Panthers in 7 at +500. My dude says Rangers really surprised me in that Hurricane series. They're playing phenomenal hockey at the perfect time. I love the Rangers to win today. Billy Freeman says Rangers going to have lots of fans in Florida too. They will. And Mikey Money says Florida going to get whooped up so good. Shesterkin anytime goal scorer is alive. So look, you guys, I don't want, and I've told you guys also, sorry, let me get this. That I don't want action in game ones. I need to have a legit angle that I really believe in to make a bet in a game one. And I just want to watch this and figure it out. Put the pieces together as we move forward throughout the series. So I have no action in tonight's Panthers-Rangers game. And I'm not even that interested in, and I get what you guys are saying, but I guess the only way I live bet something would be if the Rangers are down. I don't really know if I want the Panthers down at this point. Okay, so let's move on to game 2 of our big playoff breakdown. And I just want you guys to know what I'm on. We are obviously 32 hours or so away from this one. Let's break this down. We have Western Conference Final, Game 1. Edmonton Oilers at Dallas Stars. I have an angle in this that I trust, that I believe in, that I'm hammering. I shouldn't say hammering. It's just a regular unit size. And it's not the 400 variety. This is $300 bets. 2 of them. Let's set up the line history here first and foremost. Another thing is, I think the market's going to go with me. We'll see. But that's why I bet it now. I don't think the market's going to go against me. It could. The over 6 opened up at a pick'em in Oilers Stars. There's been a 7-cent move to the over. And on the money line, the Oilers are plus 113. And they opened up at plus 110. They moved to plus 111 about 5 hours afterwards. They moved to plus 113. I don't think I'm going to get better than plus 113. I'm on the Edmonton Oilers in game 1. But it's not a bigger bet. The bet I'm more confident in is I'm on the Edmonton Oilers in the first period at plus 105. Stuart Skinner. I told you guys that I would risk losing my job putting in Skinner in game 6. I told you guys that. And he's got a now he's a character guy. They love him in the room. His numbers aren't very good. 7-3, 2.87 goals against average, 881 save percentage. But Dallas doesn't beat you with offensive flair anymore. They're just not that team. Ottinger has been good in the playoffs, better than he was in the regular season. 8-5, 2.09 goals against average, 918 save percentage. Edmonton power play 37.5%, penalty killing 91.4%. Dallas 29% power play and 69.2 penalty killing. It's not being talked about very much. People believe in the Dallas Stars penalty killing due to their regular season numbers. But now they're playing the best power plays in the league. And they have a 69.2% penalty killing. If Edmonton stays in this series around 40% power play, they're going to win the series. That's how important the special teams are. And we just saw it in the Rangers Hurricane series. Both teams were phenomenal in the second half. They were the top 2 teams after January 1st. And the Oilers were the best team in the league, 67 points, 31-12-5, while the Stars were 30-12-5. The Stars are coming off 2 very tough series. Golden Knights in 7, Avalanche in 6. And they've gotten rest. Listen to these quotes because I don't believe in these quotes. And Steve G says Oilers aren't playing the Nucks anymore. They're playing the best team in the West. Going to be tough for Edmonton. Oh, it's going to be tough for Edmonton. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Oh, yeah. But listen to this. DeBoer says, I'm not worried about rust. 6 days? With the 2 series we just went through, we could use the time. It actually is probably a perfect amount of time that we can recharge, get some guys healthy, get reset for the next round. Rolling that first round into the second round with the 2 opponents we had was a really tough month of hockey. And it's going to help them in the series. It's not going to help them in game 1. Matt Duchene, we had 11 games in 21 days. It was nice to be able to take a few days to reset and physically get some rest. I bet you was Matt Duchene, you lazy bum. Bet you was nice. Bet you did squat ass nothing as well. Bet you did nothing in the practices, just like you've done, for the last 10 years. After a 5-game win against the Kings, the Oilers went 7 in the second round with the Canucks. Let's talk about one more thing here that's crucial. The Stars' best player has, without any shadow of a doubt, now you could say it's been Wyatt Johnston. Sure. But it's not. It's Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen's been so good. And if you know anything about Evander Kane and Corey Perry, is they're going to be dirty. And they're going to run Miro Heiskanen. I bet you, at some point in the series, there is a cheap shot beyond possible recognition on Miro Heiskanen. And it comes from either Evander Kane or Corey Perry. What happens if Heiskanen, who leads the Stars in points, who's playing 28 minutes and 1 second of ice time per game, that's most among any defenseman, if he gets hurt or gets hit, you know who they have back there? Chris Tanev and Ryan Suter. Yeah, they're still in the NHL. What happens if anything goes wrong to Heiskanen? Because they don't have Yanni Hakanpää. Hakanpää is a good player. And he's not there. Kind of reminds me of Sammy Peckinpah, the great author. But whatever. Yanni Hakanpää. He's not there. Rupi Hintz did not play game 5 or 6 because of an upper body injury. They're telling you guys. They're telling all of us that, he's day-to-day. He's traveling with the team. He's skating. Yeah, he's skating. But it's an upper body injury. He can't take any physical contact. I don't think Rupi Hintz plays. I don't think he plays. Now, I could be so wrong. And as soon as he comes back, it's a huge advantage for Dallas. What are they missing without Rupi Hintz? 1.26 points per game in that last postseason run last year. Now, they have so much depth. So they can move different players to center who sometimes play on the wing. Wyatt Johnston, little Joe Pavelski, Matty Duchene, Tyler Seguin, Logan Stankoven. They can all do that. But it's a huge loss not having Rupi Hintz out there. And if Rupi Hintz isn't there, yes, the Oilers can win this series. I don't care what anybody says. I know they can win this series. If Rupi Hintz does not play one game of this series, the Oilers will win this series. And you guys could be sitting there shaking your head, and that's fine. That's part of the fun. I'm telling you, if Rupi Hintz does not play one game, the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup final. Now, the Stars have a ton of depth. 9 players who have at least 6 points during the postseason. Perlo Wisdom says Tanev has been amazing this year. Look, I'm a Vancouver guy. You don't think I love Chris Tanev? But he's old. Slatsy says Heiskanen has been a beast. Perry did not dress last game and is done. Hope Perry plays slowest player in the league. Perry will play at some point. Steve G says more depth, better defense, better goaltending. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. But they don't have the 2 best players, arguably, in the world. They play for the Oilers. And that's the great equalizer when it comes to the most important games of the year. Who is the best player on the ice? Because when Bobano was talking about how good Wyatt Johnston's been for the Stars, I said, that's a problem. That's a problem that Wyatt Johnston's your best forward. That's not a good thing. It's a problem that Rupi Hintz is out. Now Ben has to play 30 minutes or 24 minutes again. Let's talk about the Oilers. Okay. 5-game win against Kings, 7 against Canucks. The Oilers have never been here before. And they're jumping out of their skates to play in the Western Conference Final. That's why this first period is so good. They go from Vancouver down to Dallas. They're all business. They're so pumped up. They love everybody in the room. And you can say they don't have more depth than the Stars. That's fine. But they have more depth than they ever have in the McDavid era. And Evan Bouchard is playing at a Norris Trophy level. You could say that he's playing better than Heiskanen. 6'3", 24-year-old, 10th overall pick in the 2018 draft. He was the fourth defenseman that went in that draft. Let me close all this just for fans of different teams to long for the mistakes their franchises have made. Dahlin went number 1 to the Sabres. Canucks picked Quinn Hughes at number 7. The Blackhawks picked Adam Boqvist at number 8. For you Ranger fans, you guys picked Vitaly Kravtsov right before Bouchard. Kravtsov had a cup of coffee with the Canucks last year. He's playing for Chelyabinsk Traktor in the KHL. Nobody wants him. Bouchard has 20 points in 12 playoff games. He's been absolutely incredible. I love the Oilers' first period. I love the Oilers in game 1. And I think the Oilers can win this series. And I can't wait to talk about it with you guys throughout the playoffs. I have no action in game 1. I have Oilers first period at plus 105. Oilers full game at plus 113. And let's dominate the conference finals in NHL. There you go. Let's just review some action here from the Cappers in chat. Rem Mo says Oilers defense playing elite, block shots, pressure defensively. Shots against have been great all playoffs. That was 97-29. I think they have learned to lose. Now is their time. There you go. There you go. Perky says if Edmonton has a chance, they sign Big Tits Lynn. Let's get around. And Mikey Money says novice hockey fans don't know how important it is for McDavid's legacy to get to the Stanley Cup. Every time I hear Dallas wins the series, that's all I can think. Says let's talk rest first rest. Rested team with 4 days rest. First team 2 or less days are 4-10. So rested team with 4 days rest versus a team with 2 or less days are 4-10. It hurts. Skates get rusty, says Mikey Money. There you have it. Slatsy says Hint skated Monday. I really think we see him sooner than later. Let's close. Before we close on this, let me tell you something. Rupee Hintz has an upper body injury. Who cares that he's skating? Who cares? He's not practicing. He's not taking any contact. So, look, I went skating this week. Who cares? That's a bad example. And I didn't go skating this week. But who cares? Rupee Hintz can't take contact. And he's going to get hurt out there. It's conference finals. So, we'll see. Okay, there you have it. There you have it. Stimmy OG leading us in the baseball, saying he's big on the under 10 for Texas, Philadelphia. We've just heard Wine Time on the other side of that, and Mariners, Red Sox. Let's bring on the star of MLB here on Pub Sports Radio. And I was, in the throes of despair watching Jaylen Brown hit that 3 going into overtime on a game that had already blown way over. So I don't know how he did last night. Now I'm through the throes of despair bullshit. I'm ready to get that cash all week long. Dig in. It's a very, very important time for me to succeed, and I believe we're going to do it right here, right now. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the program. Jose, how are you, my friend?
Doing okay. 2-2 day yesterday, so it wasn't anything too bad. Though the WNBA play of the day did hit. It did hit. So 1-1 now in the WNBA play of the day. Would you like that now or later, Jimmy?
I don't want it at all.
Well, you're getting it.
Okay.
WNBA play of the day. Seattle Storm first half -3. Your WNBA play of the day there.
All right, Jose, WNBA POD
-105.
The Storm -105. And what is your record in WNBA overall?
1-1 this year. I'm only down a tenth of a unit so far.
Okay. So are you going to be
I'm hot, Jimmy, like you just said. What happened my last bet? I won.
It's important, man. I get it. So okay, Storm -105. Are you going to be fully capping these games here on our program?
Depends. What do you define fully capping? I mean, I'm making research and putting bets in.
Yeah.
Can I give you an in-depth breakdown on it?
Yes, that's what
No, I cannot. But I can tell you that I'm betting the Seattle Storm -3 first half tonight, and it's going to cash here.
Okay.
Shout out to Sue Bird.
Yes, shout out to Sue Bird.
Brianna Stewart, right? She's still on the team, right? Right?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I have not studied the rosters per se.
Hey, I will admit, I looked at the starting five for the Mystics last night, and I was like, I don't know who any of these people are, but we still got that cash, though. That's all that matters.
It does matter very, very much. Gifted Cartel says I got 6 potential dogs today, not taking them all, but I do have Diamondbacks money line, New York Rangers money line, Mariners money line, Cubs money line, Rangers money line, Royals money line for Gifted Cartel. Okay, let's talk. Well, for me yesterday, it doesn't matter really because NBA. My bottom line doesn't matter because I got crushed in NBA. But this is what happened in MLB for me yesterday. It started out horrible. Baltimore, St. Louis, first 5 over 4.5 lost. Milwaukee, Miami, Rogers got lit up exactly like you guys said. Under 4.5 lost. Washington Nationals plus 158 lost so badly. Pistol Pete Loshak without Sans Blouse still was absolutely right about Corbin, who was horrible.
How did we don't know how he did yesterday, right? Without Blouse or Gown?
Well, I haven't put it in any kind of a spreadsheet yet, but I have.
Fair enough, yeah. I just need to know. And by the way, I give Pete a WNBA winner. I mum's the word from Pete today. This guy.
Well, he had the dim sum circle jerk, so he was very busy. So Minnesota, Washington under 8.5. So I lost both of Washington and the Minnesota, Washington under 8.5. So there I am in horrible shape. But Boston, Tampa Bay, first 5 under 4.5 cashed. The zigzag of the pitchers facing the opponent again 5 days later has to be hammered. White Sox first 5 plus a half cashed. I didn't need to drop the plus a half. Cubs first 5 lost. Cubs full game 1. God, I was screaming for Bellinger to hit the ribeye play today.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
So many opportunities for us, especially in the first 5.
I was talking to Mikey about it. He left 5 guys on base by himself, and I was like, Jesus.
I was screaming. Then LA first 3 plus a half at -130. I was 2-2 after 3, but they covered the first 5. And there's my guy Wine Time says Jimmy just keeps making cash off Griffin Canning. Yeah, I do. There has been some good things that have happened for me. The Colorado Oakland first 5 under 4 was a push. Aaron Brooks was great. Shout out to Aaron Brooks, but also Port Dopes.
Cal Quantrill, man,
was great. But I told you guys on the show that I should stop now and take that first 5 under 4.5 -120. It made no sense, and of course I don't, and I bet it after the show I get the 4 plus money, and
that was the best game of the night last night too.
It was a fun
game.
No, it wasn't the best game. Look, do you think I felt good watching my guy Griffin Canning, watching my guy Aaron Brooks, watching my guy Cal Quantrill? No, it was watching my guy Brandon Pfaadt shut down Freeman's, and the Ohtani run was bullshit. Arizona first 5 plus a half at -119. Arizona Dodgers first 5 under 4.5 cash. So I cashed the 2, 3, 4, 6 of my last 7 bets to give myself a slight winning night. But God, it's not enough. We need to win right here and right now. Perky says Big Tits Lynn was throwing a gem yesterday, tossing peas out there. Yes,
that was exceedingly annoying.
Perky says anytime BTL is on the bump, not to get confused with BLT, but they both.
Or BTS.
We'll give you tits. Yes, that's true. Says you put all your bankroll on him. He's automatic. Grizzled veteran with exceptional tits and stuff.
BTS also might give you tits.
That's true. That is true. I like that. I think that that we need a shirt for Big Tits Lynn. Exceptional tits and stuff. Stuff can be anything you want. Stuff can be anything you want.
That's the beauty of it.
Guillermo Zertucci in the house. He was the backbone. Him and Kev Reed were the backbones of our huge Preakness show. Thank you so much. You guys were awesome. And, of course, if you missed it, Kev Reed picked up that 2.6K American on the pick 5, races 2 to 6 at the Preakness.
One day I'll learn how to figure out how to put in a pick 5.
It's straight. You need to use the tote. You need to use that TVG, get that TVG going. Okay. Let's get to work here. And there are the records. They're atrocious and have to be fixed immediately. But I'm ready to do that. I woke up yes, I came on wallowing yesterday. Look, I hadn't seen you guys all weekend. I was in the throes of despair. I woke up like this. Let's go. Let's go. And let's roll. We start here. And we got a lot of action from the Cappers in the chat here, which we'll talk about. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the Minnesota Twins, 25-23, 14-12 on the road. At the Washington Nationals, 21-26, 8-11 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. As you might imagine, Jose, I got about 45 pages up here. Let me find this one. And I should refresh it as well to get the most recent, pertinent weather information here in Washington. 85 Fahrenheit now at first pitch, but gets up to 88 pretty quick. It's hot in Washington. 7.3 miles per hour to left center, gets up to 9 miles per hour. So we have offensive weather here. Let's get into the line history for our first game on the board. Don't forget, Dutch Boy Fresh will be joining us for NBA here in not too long. Here we go. Twinkies, Nats. This is a very interesting pitching matchup. We have Irvin sitting right now in Washington at plus 111. Open up at plus 120. So we have a move towards Jake Irvin, a move away from young Simeon Woods Richardson, who's coming off a strong start, bounce back start from his debacle up here in Toronto. From a total standpoint here, and I'll have this all set up. I got to cut some things here once Jose is breaking things down. This total is sitting here at 9.5. 9.5 minus 107 to the over. This opened up at 8. That's how far we've come. We've gone up. That opened up at 5:45 p.m. at 8. At 6:09 p.m. it hit 8.5. At 4:52 a.m. it hit 9. First time it went up to 9.5, came back to 9. Then went back up to 9.5, which is where it is now. We're up a whole run and a half. They're saying there's a ton of volatility here. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 92% of tickets, 92% cash on the over, and the line's flying in that direction. It just moved to 89 and 93, but look, the line's flying in that direction. On the money line, we have 70% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on the Twins, and this line has moved towards the Washington Nationals. Is Simeon Woods Richardson, is he vulnerable here? 1-0, 2.97 ERA, 1.15 whip. He's been very good this year. 25 strikeouts and just 6 walks. He's only allowed 2 jacks in that 30 1/3. He's coming off a good start at the Guardians. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks. Jake Irvin's been very good this year. Now, he wasn't great in that important matchup. Against Zach Wheeler. They lost 4-2 at the Phillies, and he allowed 4 runs in 5 innings. The full game went under, but I was, of course, just on the first 5. These teams aren't hitting righties. Twins 217, 677 OPS. They started smashing righties in their winning streak. They've come right back to where they were before the year started. And that's hitting 228, 673 OPS versus righties. Justin McKelvey has the over 9 in his pocket. Josh Lauer in the house. Great to see you. And Josh, is it Lower or Lauer? Because I don't want to be saying you're mispronouncing your name. Can you give me a Lower or Lauer? So I don't.
This is like Brandon Lowe and Lau all over again.
I don't want to be. It's annoying having someone.
Maybe that's their brother. Long lost brother.
Coin says, give me Washington first. Is it like Lauer? Okay, perfect. Josh Lauer in the house. I agree with Coin. Why are we not moving on the Washington Nationals first 5 here, expecting Jake Irvin to bounce back? Or is he now, was that a sign that he's coming back to earth? But the Phillies are a good hitting team. The Twins are not. Take it away, Jose Bouquett.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about the Phillies. I think they're the best team in baseball, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I was looking to back Irvin here today. I haven't moved on it yet. I think the only reason I really haven't moved on it is just because this month the Nationals have really struggled against righties. That is 25th, I should say, 86 weighted runs created plus. But funny enough, right above them at 24th, the Minnesota Twins at 87 weighted runs created plus. And the line going up makes it feel like there's going to be runs here today. So I definitely lean Nationals here. I haven't made any bets here, but it seems like it will be on Nationals first 5 or full game. I have to decide that, obviously.
Ooh, there's been a big move, or not a big move, but pretty big actually on the under in Detroit, Kansas City. That line. We'll get to that game, but there's I love seeing that. There's been a big move. Wow. That makes me happy. check this out quick. Okay, here. Sorry, let me look one last thing. Okay, I love it. So your fear of neither of these teams hitting, and then you don't believe that the Nationals have any advantage on the mound.
I mean, I do. I think Irvin and Simeon Woods Richardson might be like close to the same. Irvin might be a little better. It's close.
What about Irvin at home?
That's the thing. I'll look right now.
Okay, we're gonna get the splits. I kind of want to join coin on this. Cap and Card says Nats under 5.5 first 5 could be low key pitchers duel early. DC Capper coming off another great day. Love to see it. Jeffrey Moore on the Yurfie. Why?
All of his good starts have come on the road this year so far. He's only had 3 starts at home this year, shockingly enough. But they're all against pretty tough opponents. So you went against Toronto, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, none of them earned. So defense failure there, I guess. The Dodgers, he got crushed, 6 earned runs in 4 2/3, and then he faced the Phillies, 6 innings, 4 earned runs there. Those are the only 3 starts he had. So I think that might be a little his home ERA of a 5.74 compared to a road of 3.09 might be a little deceiving.
Minnesota's never seen him. Only Santana is the only person on the lineup that's seen Jake Irvin. It's got to give Irvin the advantage.
Yeah, again, I was trying to decide between first 5 and full game. So I guess I'll roll first 5 with Coin. I believe you said first 5 with him as well.
Yeah.
So I'm on it. Even money for me.
All right, I'm in, and let's just see what that difference is here quickly, because I'm gonna have to bet it during the show. I want it. So what's it? Give me the difference at Bet Online, full game, and first 5.
At our friends at Bet Online, let me tell you right now. Sorry, have it up.
I just have 5 cents of difference.
My local has 11. So Bet Online has a plus 112, and the first 5 is plus 107.
5 cents difference as well. And so what are you betting it at? Plus 100?
Even, yeah. My local has it at even money and then plus 111 full game. So it's a big difference there. I don't know why the big difference is, and like we say, we're trying to figure out what odds thing he uses. So,
all right, first 5 plus 100 for the Nationals. First 5 plus 100 for Jose. I'm going to bet that here during the show. Let's roll into the next spot on the board. New York Mets 21-27, 11-13 on the road. Cleveland Guardians 32-17, 17-6 at home. Let's get into the weather here at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 84 Fahrenheit, 17.9 miles per hour to right field. Stays between 17.9 and 15.6 miles per hour. Cap and Card says, with these day games, how do you tell if it's a sleepy spot or not? You know that
depends on the situation and the location
and the travel that takes place afterwards. I think that's a big part of it as well. All right, let's go into this. So here we go. So wind's blowing out like crazy. And the total right now opened up at 8.5, minus 102 to the over. It is now 9. This 9 got up to minus 118 to the over. It's now minus 115 to the over, but a big move towards the over in this one. On the money line, we are sitting here with the Mets and Jose Quintana.
What a movement in this one.
105. Opening up at plus 119, and now a very slight favorite. Thus far this year, the market's been really sharp with Quintana, and I've trusted it. But I also believe in Quintana. I thought that was a nice performance. 5 1/3, 2 in runs in that 6-5 extra inning win at the Phillies. Going up against Tristan McKenzie, who's been very good. 6 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run last start. Solo shot, 5 Ks, 4 walks, 3-2 win at home versus the Twins. The Guardians are smashing lefties. Smashing 261, 777. I find it wild, absolutely wild to. It just doesn't fully correlate the way they're hitting lefties. Jose, can you grab us what the Guardians are last 14 days weighted runs created? The Mets aren't hitting righties at all. 242, 692 OPS. Both bullpens have been very good. Guardians bullpen being the best in the league. Our guy Old E says on the job site, just jumping in to say, what up, fam? Our guy Old E, have a great day of work, man. I hope the sun is shining for you. And let's get that cash, Old E. Good luck. Good luck today. And I hope it's a great day. Because you can have great days at work. They are possible. Now, they're better if you're thinking about baseball and you have afternoon action to get you through the day. We have talk about the money here. 17% of the tickets and 23% of cash on the New York Mets. 17 and 23 in this huge move towards them. 93% of tickets, 90% of cash. Huge move towards the over. This just, for me, Jose, it just doesn't fully correlate because of the way the Guardians are hitting the lefties. But this market move has to be respected. Mikey Money says these interleague games are zigzags. Road Dog after now 32 and 17, but 7 and 3 last 10. Take it away, Jose Bouquett, Quintana, McKenzie, Mets, Guardians at Progressive.
So, what do you think the difference is between this game and the game we just talked about? Is it that the Twins also suck at hitting righties? Is that the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
I'm going to move on the Mets.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm going to move on the Mets. I think I'll just listen to the line movement in the market here. If it's swinging from this like plus money to all the way to being favored by almost minus 110 at this point, I'll gladly just roll on. There's no money on it, and I think it's for a reason. So Mets for me, I'm getting at minus 107 actually for me. So. And you said the market's been pretty good with Quintana. I'm pretty shocked at it as well, but like I said, I think it's moving for a reason.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet things that are just solely based. I need to be able to find my avenue, and yeah, I think that what they're saying is that Tristan McKenzie's more vulnerable than Quintana with the wind blowing out like this. That's fine. There's our guy Al Cervic in the house. Coin Cleveland team total over 4.5 at minus 110 has appeal. And Joe Europe says if you guys like to interpret sharp action, you bet Mets money line. Absolutely. Ooh, that's clear as bell.
I also considered betting Mets team total here as well. 4.5. Like I said, I've been tracking those bets that I would make if I was feeling better about my action here, and that's one of them. So. By the way, on those bets yesterday, I think I went like 1 and 3, so glad I didn't make them.
Jarrett got the Mets plus 112 last night. Great work. And Benjamin
nice.
Mills says Tribe won't have their closer. Class A has pitched in 3 straight days. So I'll cheer you on. I can't move on it myself. Now we have
Thank God, by the way, that fucking Edwin Diaz is not closing baseball games for this team anymore. Him and Craig Kimbrell have cost me bukus this year.
Kimbrell has been a problem. Let's talk about this tricky spot at 1:15 p.m. Orioles Cardinals. Now we need the game that's tied at 1 right now in 6th inning to finish, which is going to make it easier to decipher what we want to do in this one. But please, what are your thoughts on the game? And I know you've looked at it. I have not, and I'm not going to give you my thoughts on it because it does take study and work. What are your thoughts on the game that's continuing right now between the Orioles and Cardinals?
I couldn't even really get anything, honestly. I was trying to figure out who would go for these teams as well to start off, and I didn't even hear anything about that. So, I didn't even really look at it, and I didn't do much research on this game either because, like I said, I want to see what happens in the first game. We need to see the bullpens, et cetera, et cetera. But I anticipate the Baltimore Orioles finding their rhythm and rolling, but it's tough to say.
They're not offering it right now at 365, which is a surprise. It's not under the live tab. It's not under are other books offering it? Is Bet Online offering it?
I don't think so. I didn't see it.
That's strange.
Yeah. I don't see anything, no.
Well, let's talk about what happens in the following game, just to do due diligence. But I'm very uncomfortable making a move on it before we see what goes down. Orioles Cardinals at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. This one is scheduled at 1:15. It won't go at 1:15 at this point. Let's take a look at the weather there. We have 73 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour out to right field. It goes down a little bit, and then it goes up to 11.1 by the end of the game. Let's get into the line history here. BJ, best bet in the house is on the Mavs at +4.5. We're talking about today and tomorrow's basketball games with Dutch Boy Fresh here on the program. Let me get that here. Mavs +4.5. Best bet action from our friend BJ here. And Morgan Spooner says Gibson's getting a very warm welcome to the Baltimore Orioles organization, making him fat and happy so they can break out the home run hose on his old ass, says our guy Morgan Spooner.
God damn, Morgan.
Johnny Means versus Kyle Gibson. Means 2-0, 3.06 ERA, 0.85 whip, converted 17 of 23. Hasn't walked the batter yet, 17 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 15, allowed 2 jacks. Coming off 9-2 win at home over the Mariners. He was good, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. It was very low leverage in situation, very easy for him. They took a big lead, and he just kind of waltzed through. Kyle Gibson, coming off a bad start, 10-6 win at home versus the Red Sox. Allowed 5 earned runs, but he's been pretty good this year. He's an innings eater. Mally Mal says a slight move towards the Twins just now. Yeah, I haven't bet it yet. I'll take a look at what it is, but I'm still comfortable with the situation. Here, though, Gibson going up against Means. The Cardinals are horrible against lefties. 203, 595 OPS. It's astonishing. Orioles versus righties, 227, 699 OPS. So that is the situation here. We do have some. Is that the only book? What book? Bovada, I guess, has this up.
By the way, shout out to the people whose Orioles bets got voided yesterday. Mine's definitely did not. So shout out to you guys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had first 5, though, so they'll take your money as soon as that shit ends.
Oh, yeah. Jay Brown says Baltimore -1.5 all day long. Is there anything you want to move on, or do you need to see what happens in this game that's continuing?
Yeah, I'd rather see who gets used, so I have nothing. I was shocked to see that Kyle Gibson's like 6'8". I didn't realize Kyle Gibson's a fucking big boy like that.
Well, he's tall.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
He's lacking the Lance Lynn
girth. Yeah. I respect those tall pitchers. Shout out to him and Bailey Ober. So I wanted nothing to do with this game, though. I could see this game being an under, perhaps.
Yeah, I think we just need to get a better idea. John Means should deliver here, but we can't study odds or cash, so we've got to wait a little bit longer. Oh wait, was that we got to wait a little bit longer, so that's fine. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 19-30, 13-14 on the road at the Houston Astros 22-27, 14-14 at home at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. I think that the Angels, we need to find ways to back them. I think they're going to offer a ton of value. They're playing scrappy and they're trying hard. And Tyler Anderson coming up the 9-3 win at the Rangers. He looks very good. 2.72 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Looks very good. 7 strong against the Rangers. Going up against Hunter Brown, I'm done. I'm not going to sit here and try and find.
I was like, what are we done with? Jesus.
Catching a falling knife with Hunter Brown. Like, it's just, he's been so bad. TJ says best bet today is LA Houston over. Now the Astros smash lefties, 272, 782 OPS. The Angels 239, 697 OPS versus righties. Jeffrey Dahmer writing a poem or multiple poems here about Pedersen. What a horrible contract here. That's just going to hang around.
None of your future children are going to be named Elias.
My brother is named Eli.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother Eli, and we have a new cousin in the family named Elijah. So we got a couple Elis, but no Eliases. But man, Patrick Elias Elias was phenomenal. New Jersey Devil, phenomenal. So this, but whatever. Let's go back to this Hunter Brown spot here, and Jarek White is on LA Moneyline, and Truth Teller is on Anderson strikeouts, and Benjamin Mills and Troy Torrance says cash cow here. Cash cow here for the Houston Astros. Wine Time says Angels young bats are really coming through lately. They've been playing hard. This team is so young. Decent pen. Oh, if they had a decent pen, this team would be at 500. We have LJ from H-Town. Astros team total over 4.5. 5 or more runs. 5 out of the last 6. Astros 7-1 to the over in the third game of the season. And Jeffrey Dahmer saying he couldn't see him the same way after I called him toddler shoulders. Yeah, I mean, he's just he's not made for the playoffs. He's made for video games. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have. What was I talking about that there was no line history? I was looking at the wrong spot. I was looking at the live game. We got line history for the Means Gibson spot. You know what? After we do this, let's go back to the Mean Gibson spot for a second and start due diligence on that one. My fault, you guys. Here for Anderson Brown, we have Brown sitting here at minus 195, opening up at minus 176. So now minus 196. That just changed 9 minutes ago. So we have 20 cents of movement towards the Houston Astros. 20 cents of movement to the Houston Astros, and on the total, we are sitting here with a 9 at minus 109 to the under. So we've had 11 cents of movement to the under and a big move to the Astros, which of course is telling you that Hunter Brown's going to pitch well. And, they keep putting him out. They keep throwing him out there. I mean, they believe in this kid, and he's really had a tough start to the year. So 89% of tickets, 87% of cash on the over. And this has dropped towards the under. On the money line, we have 87% of tickets, 76% cash on the Houston Astros. So the Astros are a cash cow. And it was TJ, right, who said that he was on the over. Is that right? Why do I think that TJ said that?
Yeah, I think he did.
Okay, JW on LA team total. Oh, he did say it, yeah. So take it away. Angels, Astros, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Jose.
Yeah, I didn't have any action on this to start. I do kind of want to tell the cash cow here. So Troy, I'm assuming you meant that this is the cash cow for the Astros. Minus 103 for the run line there. So I have it written down. I'll probably add it at the end of the show. But I'll say this. I mean, I still don't trust these Astros. I still think they're very dubious. Everyone's jumped on the division thing, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see, because I still don't trust this bullpen, and the starters are still kind of shaky to me as well. So we'll see how it ends up rolling. No action for me as of now, but I will probably end up adding the minus 1.5 there at the end of the program. And my sister's doing well, Joe. Thank you for asking.
And Wine Time Sports says he likes the over more and more. He might bet the over.
Yeah, I looked at an Astros team total. 4.5, but super juiced. So
let's go back. Let's switch back to the Means Gibson spot. I apologize. I don't know if it's a lack of sleep thing. So this total for Means Gibson opened up at 8.5, and it was juiced to the over. And now it's at 9. So it moved to 9 at 11:13 a.m. and now it's juiced to the over even at 9. So we have a legitimate move in the game 2 spot to the over. And on the money line here, we have Gibson at plus 116, and he opened up at plus 124. So 8 cents of movement to Kyle Gibson against John Means with a Cardinals team that doesn't hit lefties. I mean, it's clear, sharp action on them, but that's not going to get me there. Only 29% of tickets and 34% of cash on Gibson. I guess he shoves, and 88 and 79 on the over. So in saying that, I need to find a route that correlates with the sharp action. I'm not just going to blindly follow sharp action. I'm not just going to blindly follow Kyle Gibson here. And I'm going to try not to fade the Orioles as much as I can. So does that, and Troy Toyn says that he's on the Orioles. This one qualifies for the sharp trap. There you go. So is there anything that you want to add to this before we move on?
No, I'd be on the Orioles if anything, but nothing for me.
All right. So I still haven't made my bet yet on the Nationals, and I'd like to do that here, but I'll probably do it once I let you talk about Luzardo Peralta, because let's talk about my double up spot here, 2:10 p.m. Eastern. And I'm just not, delivering in MLB. I should have moved on this when they were plus money, and I still got the plus 100, which I was surprised at Bet365 on the first 500, 3.5. But there were a couple reasons why I really like this under. And again, and I was planning on betting the first 3 under 1.5 at plus 130. But you have to, it's one thing. Like, I would have happily just, like tweeted that out as a pick, but you have to bet these things. And I got cold feet. I was like, oh God. I mean, if it's 1-1 after 3 and I lose this or anything, I was like, I took the 2, and the 2 wasn't expensive. I got plus 135 on the first 3 under 1.5, and I got minus 165 on the first 3 under 2.5. Gave me a minus 113 using the -1 calculator that Ron Crawford provided for us. Ricky Bobby on the first 5 under as well. By the way, Nutflush Allen knows this LA Angel team very well. As you know, we got a lot of great Angel cappers with Wine Time and Nutflush. Says, just my opinion, but for anyone on LA, I would tread lightly. These getaway days and early starts are recipes for sleepy bats. And my dude also like Nationals first 5. Says feels better. CJ Abrams had a bad day yesterday. I would bet Abrams takes today. Abrams has great numbers too against Simeon. Jarek White on the under 7. Look, I get that, but this was kind of my wheelhouse here because Tariq Skubal is thought of as the best young lefty in the league. And I know that Kyle Harrison may end up being it, but right now Tariq Skubal is 6-0, 1.80 ERA, 0.78 whip, 66 Ks in 55 innings. He only allowed 3 home runs in 55 innings. Only walked 8 batters in 55 innings. His last start at Arizona, who rake lefties, 6 innings, 1 hit, 6 Ks, no walks. He was great. Cole Ragans, everyone's going to be, he's going to know he's going up against the best young lefty in the league, and they're going to say, "Look, you are the best young lefty in the league. You show them. You show them that you're the best young lefty in the league." And that stuff is inspiring. I mean, it's so weird. I hate going back to our own sports, but I remember when I was 10 in our majors, of course, 10 to 12. I mean, as a 10-year-old, my coach always kept up me. He would say, "You show them you're the best 10-year-old in this league," and that pumped me up so much. Now I'm 10, but like and I still remember. I'm 44, and I remember my coach saying that. Speaking of my coach, he was the principal. Became the principal at my high school, and left his wife with MS. She had MS. Ditched his wife for a secretary and left the country. Disappeared with her.
Respect. My former baseball coach. Allegedly porked our athletic trainer while his wife was also a teacher at the school.
Baseball coaches love to fuck, but still, I could not believe that he leaves he disappeared during the school year.
Respect.
Like he left his that was not a good man. This is not a good man. Now he got me all pumped up saying, "Show him you're the best 10-year-old league." But man, your wife's got MS. You leave her, and you. He's a horrible dude. That's just shocking.
What country? I wonder what country you went to.
I know he
probably
left,
United States.
The principal left during the school year, disappeared with the secretary, left his wife. I mean, that's just horrible. Never heard from him again. Never saw him again. Never. No. All right.
Respect. That's great.
Sorry that got in my head. But let's go back to. I think they're telling Cole Ragans, look, you show Tariq, you show everybody that you are the best. Wow, 3-1 Cardinals immediately.
What happened? Well, did they start with guys on base? Jesus Christ, Rodney. Let us know.
Speaking of that, that probably should have been in the.
Well, we can't really bet it.
Oh, you're right. I couldn't bet it at the time, yeah. But some people could. It was live at FanDuel, but okay. So that's what I think they're telling Ragans, and I think he delivers here. The Tigers don't hit lefties, 223, 620 OPS. The problem is the Royals are hitting lefties, and not with a ton of power, but 260, 713 OPS in a league that's kind of struggling against lefties right now. That was the only thing that doesn't correlate. But look what Tariq Skubal just did against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He shut them down. So, and this line's moving in my direction, and I woke up to bet it, and it hadn't moved at 365. 365 was a little late on the move. So let's go over the line history here for this one. This is sitting here with Kansas City at minus 102. They are now plus 101. Sorry, there was just a move in the last 10 minutes. There was actually just another move a minute ago. So there's been a 3-cent move to the Kansas City Royals. And on the total here, over here, and on the total, we have it's sitting at 7. And this opened up at 7.5 minus 150. Now they immediately went 7. Then it got back up to 7.5. This was at 7.5. Now it would have been minus 120, minus 121, but this was at 7.5 when I took the first 3 and the first 5 under. And again, it's not that I don't like the full game under, but I tell you what, the batters are going to be happy when these two lefties are off the mound. And that was the reason why I didn't move on, because it doesn't matter how good your reliever is. You get Raggins or Screwball off the mound, you're going to find everything more appealing. So I just want to take a quick look, Jose, don't mind me, just at the first 5, what it's done, because it was plus money last night, and I just wanted a sign from the books, and I got that from Pinnacle this morning. So this opened up under 3.5 at plus 102. Last night it was under 3.5 at plus 103. It actually moved at 2:01 a.m. I was up, but I didn't notice it. It moved another cent away from me. And then at 4:06 a.m., it moved a 10-cent move to the under 3.5. And I was a little late to the party. At this point, there's been a 12-cent move to the under 3.5. And there's been a big move on the unders that I moved on. So here we go. Take it away, Jose. These are my only 2 bets on the card right now, but I'm going to bet this Nationals first 5 while you talk about this spot. So take it away. And if I don't have it in, because I'm going to send it in, I expect to send it in. I would like to send it in. I may bet at Pinnacle if I have to. Take it away, Jose. Floor is yours.
Yeah, this was maybe for me at least, it was like the most obvious under 2 great teams. I didn't bet it. Totals 7 and 3.5 were super low, obviously, and my one concern, like you mentioned, is the Royals' ability to hit lefties. Now, yeah, Scooble hit Arizona, but I don't know. I just don't trust Arizona's bats, really. It's not like I really trust Kansas City's either. So I lean under and I lean Kansas City, but I want nothing to do with this game. And as I've said a couple times throughout this week, these are division games with the AL Central, and all these games count, and all these games will mean something. So I think they'll be able to play a little tighter. So I lean under, but yeah, I didn't have any action on this game, and I lean Kansas City as well.
I like this one. It's going to be a lot of fun here, and I'm also going to have the Nationals for afternoon action. That is it for me. I am getting a better line at 365, so I can send it in instead of using cash. Not as liquid as I would like to be right now. Let's get this in. So I haven't got it in yet because I've got to take the pick and send it in and all that stuff. But that's the Nats game. I have bet the first 3 under 2. I used the -1 calculator. Let us know if anybody needs the -1 calculator.
Yep. And by the way, real quick, LJ, I do not trust the Royals bats. I will say last 14 days against lefties, 179 plate appearances, 124 weighted runs created plus, 8th best in the league. But full season, obviously significantly worse, 18th, only 97 weighted runs created plus. So I'll see, they're hot right now. So
Jeffrey Moore working on using skunt properly. No, one is not skunted.
No, you are a skunt.
Yes. Yeah.
I say that quite frequently, Jimmy. As many people know, no one's harder on themselves than myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I play volleyball, I know I play volleyball. I get
volleyball.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's all men and
co-ed with Helga. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
there is women. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I obviously, whenever I miss a ball or fuck up, I will just scream at myself, and I'll be like, "Fuck you, dumb skunt!" And I'll just yell at myself, and then I'll have people look at me, and then I'll see people like look at each other, and they'll just say, "Skunt."
Yeah, no, I love it. Are the meetings, the volleyball meetings, do they take place in the bathhouse?
No meetings. No meetings.
No meetings. No
meetings.
Okay.
There are practices, obviously, though. Okay. Those are in the bathhouse.
I don't want you to ever talk about this again. No, I'm serious.
Fair.
I don't want to ever talk about this again.
So you don't want clips of me playing?
No, I don't. And I'm serious. I do not want to ever talk about this again. Nobody's going to know about this except for,
the 306 people watching live and us.
No, I'm
and Daby, maybe.
I am deadly serious. We never speak of this extracurricular activity ever again.
Okay. I won't bring in video next time.
No, I'll never talk about it again. Okay, let's move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Milwaukee Brewers 28-20, 16-11 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 16-34, 9-19 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Freddie Peralta versus Jesus Luzardo on the mound. Brewers are hitting lefties, 229, 730 OPS. Marlins are not hitting righties. Marlins not doing anything right, 239, 665 OPS. Let's get into this one here. Let's talk about the line history for this spot. We have move over here and let's roll. So we have, I've got the first five. So why don't we just talk about the first five total here because it's low. This opened up at 4, heavily juiced to the under, and immediately went to 3.5 plus 104 to the under, and now it's minus 112 to the under. So this is a big move to the under, and it's a very, very low total. Let's get into money lines here for this one. And let's get off the first 5. And we've done that. Okay. So full game money line here. We have Peralta at minus 121, opening up at minus 129. So we've had a 7-cent move, sharp action to the Miami Marlins. And I want to start trusting the core. I was trying to think, what was it that happened for me in 2022? Why was it that we caught such fire in the second half of the year? I was so confident, and everything was lining up. I would only move if everything was correlated. Now, I don't mind if some things are correlated or if there's enough correlated, but I just find it so difficult to back the Miami Marlins and to trust them. This total opened up at 7.5, and it's now at 7, juice to the under. I mean, everything's pointing to the under here. Let's get into the cash flow here. From a cash flow standpoint, we have, here we go, 96% of the tickets and 96% cash on the over. Now it's 97 and 97. I mean, God damn it. I mean, this is just screaming that the under is in play. 76% of tickets, 83% cash is on the Brewers. I can't trust the Marlins bullpen. So I would have to take a first 5 under 3.5. We have Freddie Peralta coming off getting lit up by the Astros, 5 earned runs in 5 innings. He's got a 4.17 ERA. Look how high these ERAs are. I mean, this is one of those plays that it has to be the sharpest of action that's bringing this to the under. Oh, God. Take it away, Jose. Peralta, Luzardo. Now, Luzardo's coming off a beauty start at home versus the Mets, so he's got the consecutive home starts. So maybe this is perfect for them. Are you moving on this?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about moving on the under. I was actually thinking about moving on the Marlins. Is this not the same situation we just referred to earlier? I think that the Marlins are live in this game. 10-cent movement down towards the Marlins. All the money on the Brewers. I think we've got a good pitcher on the bump in Jesus Luzardo. The issue is that the Brewers smash lefties. Now, who was the game earlier that we talked about this? I think it was Colragans and Scooble.
But I just have 229, 730 OPS.
Well, I have for the last 14 days specifically, Milwaukee, 128 plate appearances, 167 weighted runs created plus in these last 14 days. Full season,
faced one last, and they just faced one last night.
Yeah, so they're 110 full season, 110. So that's 10th there as well. So it's sketchy now. If I'll push it back to this full month to see how it affects it. They're still 4th, 156 plate appearances, 139 weighted runs created plus. I think that this is the very similar spot to like we just mentioned, and it's tough. But I think the Marlins are alive, and I wanted to take them first 5 here.
Are you taking them first 5?
I will let you know at the end of the program. Again, I have it written down here. I was hoping to take a Marlins first 5 plus a half, but obviously the line's too low, and the plus a half in this game is minus 135 for the Marlins. So
yeah, because
that's tough.
Low volatility.
Yeah, so I definitely like the first 5 under with you, and the Marlins here, first 5 here. I've got both of them written down, and I might come back to them at the end of the program, obviously.
The question is, can I trust Peralta? That's what I can't answer.
That's funny because my question is, can I trust Jesus Luzardo against the Brewers bats?
On a travel day, I think he's fine. I think that's the reason why the sharp action is moving towards. Okay, I'm just I've made
our guy Sharpie saying the Brewers can't hit good lefties. Raggins and Rodon both went 6 innings, 2 runs against them. They have been beating up on bums, yet they have whooped Luzardo 2 times last year.
Wow, that's interesting, Sharpie. Okay, I'm gonna have to. God, I'm gonna sit with that. That's okay. I don't. So Sharpie, can you expand? Like, if you hadn't have added in a sense about what happened to Luzardo last year, which let's pull up batter versus pitcher.
I just looked up his numbers, both of his starts. One was 5 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them earned 4 Ks, 3 walks. And the other was 5 innings, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 Ks, 4 walks there and a home run. So obviously one better than the other one, but neither really all that impressive, especially because he's just walking dudes. If he doesn't walk dudes, I'm sure his starts are much better. Batter versus pitcher wise, Willy Adames, 2 for 5 with 2 doubles. Sal Frelick, 3 for 5. Our guy Christian Yelich is 1 for 3 with a double on him. But really, that's it. William Contreras, who we all know is a guy that dominates lefties. 11 at bats, 9 plate appearances. Excuse me, backwards. 9 at bats, 11 plate appearances, only 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, though. So keep that note. But yeah.
All right. Yeah. And Sharpie says his thing with Luzardo is he walks 3+. If he does walk 3+, like he did last time versus him, they're the most patient team in baseball. They take pitches better than most. Okay. I'm going to leave question marks there. It's such a low total. Thank you for the kind words, Jeffrey Dahmer, my friend. I think I'm going to have to stay off of this spot at this point. So let's move on to our next spot on the board. And we have our first best bet from our guest here, coming to us from Dallas, Texas, star of Medicate Mondays, giving us a little juice, a little boost here in the middle of our MLB breakdowns. Please welcome Mr. Dabra Kadabra to the program. Daby Cab, how are you, my friend?
Not going to start on mute, Jimmy. I'm doing good, man. It's a good new week to get some money here on Betting with the Bag, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, DC Capper, Billy, Jeffrey. We're hitting that point where everybody can sense it's just baseball. And I feel like some people get worried about that, but we're going to dominate it. So let's get rolling. We're going to start today, man. Today's a new day.
And we have a very interesting situation here with Nick Martinez. I know that you have been fading him, and the market told us that he was going to shove in that start at the Dodgers, something that he's done historically. It's as if the only team he can pitch to is the best team in the league, and everybody else smashes him. And the Padres right now, 273, 753 OPS versus righties, and they know him well. He was a Padre. There's so many moving parts to this baseball game right now, Cabby. So let's set it up for you. Padres, Reds. These Reds just 10-13 at home, just 20-28 on the season. There was such high hopes for this ball club, and they are the Reds of old. Padres 25-26, but 15-10 on the road, doing what they love to do, and that is disappoint their home fans. No fans have been more disappointed in the ball club than Padre fans, and I love it. Michael King, 3-4, 4.31 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, coming off a bad start at home versus the Rockies. He was coming off that he had that great start 2 back, and then just couldn't follow it up. The Reds don't hit at all. 211, 638 OPS. There's our guy BT in the house. What up, BT? A J-Dub on the Reds team total over 3.5. So this is tricky. Let's see if the line history and the cash flow kind of lead us into a situation. From a total standpoint here, we have this sitting at a 9.5 at -114 to the under. This opened up at 9.5, and within 15 minutes was at a 9. Now, it wasn't a real 9. It was juiced heavily to the over. It took 6 hours for it to kind of go back to a 9.5, flirting between this 9 and 9.5 range nonstop. 9, 9.5, 9, 9.5. Then it was at 9. We had a 9 thick from 5:46 this morning until 30 minutes ago, and it goes back up to 9.5. Overall, we've had 3 cents of movement, just 3 cents of movement towards that over. Let's get into the money line here for this one. Sorry about that. Here we go. On the money line, get back to Pinnacle. Annoying. Okay, here we go. On the money line, we have the Reds at plus 117. They opened up at plus 110. The Padres gone from minus 119 to minus 127. So 8 cents of movement towards the San Diego Padres. And then when we get to the cash, 67% of tickets, 71% of the cash on the Padres. Line moving towards them. And then 75% of tickets, 75% cash on the under, which is tricky to figure out. When we go to the weather in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark here, sorry about that. Where is it? We have 86 Fahrenheit, 11.2 miles per hour to left field. It dies down to 7.5, but this is offensive weather. The market with the cash on the under, a very tricky situation here. LJ from H-Town says Padres 4-0 off a road loss in the same series. Reds 6-13 off of a win. Lost 3 in a row in this situation. Joe Yerf said Cincy Ballpark's Colorado Light right now. Let's hear what Daby Cab has to say. Best bet number 1 from the Magic Man. Take it away, Cab. Padres Reds.
Man, I don't care if Nick Martinez shut the Dodgers down. He's still a gas can that wears his ass as a hat, Jimmy. I cannot stand him on the mound, and I'll never be a fan. Good game. But if anything, that's in time when I like to fade a pitcher off of a really good game against one of the best teams in fucking baseball. Absolutely, especially going against a team that knows him well. He played with the Padres like he touched on. So he has a relationship with some of these players. Padres, I know they're 25 and 26 and letting their fans down, like you said right now, but they're still, second in the NL West, putting up 4.58 runs per game. Team batting average sitting at right around 257, which, if I'm not mistaken, hold on. Pull that up so I get it exactly right. Yeah, 4th in baseball right now at 256, depending on where you look. I got 2 different numbers. But either way, they're sitting at 4th in baseball, 322 on base percentage. That's 6th. And the Padres already saw Nick Martinez once this season. They might have only put up 3 earned runs against him, but they had 5 total runs. There was an error in the middle of that inning when they put up all those runs. So they got 5 runs in that one inning. I'm here again. I'm going to take the Padres team total over 4.5. Fuck Nick Martinez, man. I'll fade him every chance I get this season.
And Padres team total over 4.5. Did you tweet that out?
Yes, I did.
What's the juice?
Minus 115.
And why aren't you focusing on the first 5 team total over if it is Nick Martinez that you want to fade?
I've had this conversation. It's pathetic that I'm back here. I still haven't got a book that has first 5 totals, and I give out what I actually bet. So
okay,
that's the only reason.
Okay, that's fair. Take it away, Jose Cabby, on the Padres team total over 4.5 minus 115. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I had no action. I tip my cap to Nick Martinez for helping us cash the minus 300 fade last time out. But no action. Like you mentioned, if anyone's going to know how he does and how he pitches, it's going to be the Padres here. So no action for me. I do lean to the over in this game, though. We obviously know that. Like I think Joe Yurkovich said it, this is the second most offensive ballpark in the league, right behind Colorado. So lean over, but no action.
And Sharpie said just finished up his work on Luzardo. Going to have a day. This year he has his best first pitch strike percentage as well as his best zone percentage, was just a little above league average. So
I might be adding both Miami and that first 5 under there.
It would just be the first 5 under for me, praying that Peralta has a bounce back, but I'm back close to moving on it. Daby Cab on the Padres team total over 4.5 at minus 115. Jeffrey Moore says because we live in Texas, so sad for us. It won't be sad forever. It's gotta legalize in California.
You can feel the change coming. You can feel it coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the new Mavericks owners are going to fill all the Senators' pockets with cash.
It's so weird seeing Prize Picks billboards and shit now too. Like I see a bunch of Prize Pick shit now as well. So yeah, it's coming. And I have so many friends that do Prize Picks. I have like some friends that are women do Prize Picks too. And I was like, oh my gosh, like how is this? Like, why are people doing this shit? I can't believe it. So shout out to Prize Picks.
It's important. Let's get this changed in Texas and California. Daby Cab on the Padres team total over 4.5. Now, Daby Cab, you also have Rangers Philadelphia. So why don't you just stick with us as we talk about our next game on board, and then we'll roll into your next spot. Next up for us is San Francisco Giants, 23-26, 8-16 on the road. The Pittsburgh Pirates, 23-26 as well, 10-12 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The return of Blake Snell. 11.57 ERA in 11 2/3. Looked horrible. Hit the DL after getting lit up and smoked in a 17-1 loss at home versus the Diamondbacks. Last year's Cy Young Award winner. So let's take a look at the weather first in Pittsburgh, and then get into the line history. From a weather perspective at PNC Park, we have 73 Fahrenheit, 11.6 miles per hour out to left field. It changes drastically within an hour. All of a sudden, it's down to 7 miles per hour, and it's right to left slightly in. So you're going to see it on some sites that only talk about what it's like in first pitch. It changes drastically within an hour. So it's not as bad for defense as you would imagine here. So, Ricky Bobby says, did I hear Daby say something like you just can't bet it? No, I don't think so.
No, he literally cannot bet it because he doesn't have an option to bet it.
Yeah, of course.
Ricky, don't worry.
Don't worry, Ricky. Everybody's like, what? Okay, so let's go into this. Let's start with I didn't do the line history yet. So why don't we do there? See what the market is thinking about this spot. The market has the great Jared Jones. What a season! What a rookie season he's putting together. Opening up -114, now -119. 5 cents of movement towards him. On the total side of things here, we have it sitting at a 7.5, -113 to the under. Open up -106 to the under. So we have a 7 cent move to the under. This is only moved to the under. There's never really been any buyback, despite it only moving 7 cents. Going to the cash flow for this spot, we have 98% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. This is pretty simple here. I can imagine that somebody looks at the weather and sees it going out to left field, and thinks, oh, it's hugely offensive. Well, we know it's a pitcher's ballpark, and the wind changes drastically within an hour of the starting of the game. It's moving to the under. There's not been buyback, and everybody and their mama betting the over. On the money line here, there is sharp action on the Giants, 31% of tickets and 41% of the cash. Let's talk about Blake Snell a little bit more. We have not seen him since mid to late April, and they call it a thigh injury. A thigh injury, and he made rehab starts. His second rehab start was at Sacramento on Friday, so he's perfect time between starts, and he struck out 10 over 5 scoreless. He did not give up a run over the 2 rehab outings. He looks like he's ready to go. In the perfect innings, I remember in that first rehab start, I was watching a Giants game during it, and they were raving. He had the immaculate inning, 9 pitches and 9 strikeouts during that first rehab start. So is Blake Snell back here? Is that too much to ask for? And then we'll talk about Jared Jones coming off allowing another quality start, allowing 3 earned runs in the 5-4 win at the Cubs. 2.89 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. He's been very, very good. The Giants are not hitting 244, 694 OPS. Pirates hit. If you compare the Pirates to league average, they're hitting better than league average, but still, that's just 238, 718 OPS. Pig milk play of the day is the first 5 under 3.5 in this one. Giants, Pirates, and we're gonna go over. I didn't have time just because I was solo to put all of the plays of the day, like copy and paste them on the games. But we'll go over all the plays of the day. Well, this is a fascinating one here. Jose Bouquett, Giants, Pirates. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I had this written down before. I'll move on it. First 5 under. I'm on the first 5 under. I'm getting a 4 still, and it's juiced, obviously, at -125. But I said immediately during the season, Jared Jones is the best Pirates pitcher. And then Paul Skeens came up. But I knew Jerry Jones from the start was going to be a solid pitcher. I think he's good enough to take down the Giants. And the Blake Snell thing is kind of funny, Jimmy. I just don't think he was ready. I think he just rushed to get back and pitch for his new team, and he just wasn't ready. Got shelled. And then his minor league rehabs have been pretty good. We've had those immaculate innings, et cetera, et cetera. But I always am a little wary about putting stock into minor league rehab starts. But he went 9 innings, no hit, 17 strikeouts, 1 walk. So it's pretty tough to go about that. So I rolled the first 5 under. It's going to be a very interesting game for the Pirates offense because I don't trust them typically. And O'Neal Cruz is coming off smashing 2 balls in the same game. I don't know if he'll do it again. So first 5 under here for me, under 4 minus 125.
Oh, wow. You got the 4 too.
Yeah, it's juiced. I don't love it. I kind of go back and forth between wanting the 4 and the 3.5 for less juice, but yeah, it is a little more mentally secure when you have that 4.
Yes, I totally agree. My ROI on minus 125 totals is horrific.
I think mine is the same.
I try so hard to stay away from them. I've got a minus 120. Wow. I think, you know what? I screwed up with this yesterday. And it can't happen. There's just too much on the line. I didn't move on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 120. Moved on it after the show. It was 4 at plus 100, and I pushed it. I'm going to bet this right now. But here, let's hear what Daby Cab has. Daby, is there any red flag here? What do you think of this spot?
Man, so I tell you, usually I don't like to back a pitcher coming back, but that's if it's an arm situation, even after their minor league starts. But again, I'm going to say that's an arm situation. This is different. He's coming back from a thigh injury, like you said. And I think I saw Sharpie put his stats in there from his first minor league start. Looks like he threw pretty well here. I don't see any reason why this game doesn't play to the under. I like where Jose's head's at. Both of these pitchers should dominate these lineups if they throw to the best of their ability here. So I would look under, kind of maybe still lean Pirates as a side here, just because I don't see the Giants really putting up much offense at all. But yeah, I'm off this game. I was going to ask you guys, did you see the shit where they had Paul Skeens dubbed over with Kenny Powers' voice?
I did not, but he kind of does.
Oh my God. It was so fun. It was his interview and they dubbed it over and it was like, so I just got here, and I'm already the best fucking pitcher in baseball history. You guys have seen my girlfriend, right? Basically what I'm saying is I'm better than all of you.
That's good. That's good. I want to get this in. This is 10 cents better right now at Bet365 than Pinnacle. That minus 1, it's minus 130 at Pinnacle. I'm getting a minus 120 right now. It must be bet this very second. So while I'm betting this here and sending it in, Jose, can you set up Daby Cab's next best bet, Rangers, Phillies? And then as soon as you guys go, I'm going to give, because we've got a lot of stuff from the chat on this game, best bets on different sides of the ledger. So Jose, set up Rangers, Phillies for Daby Cab, and I'm going to get this bet in.
Sure. Let's talk about Daby Cab's favorite team and his favorite pitcher on his favorite team, Dane Stunning Dunning, back on the mound here. Once upon a time, a 2016 first round pick. Shout out to Dane Dunning. Shoulder injury, no rehabs. I always don't feel great about that when you have a shoulder injury and you're coming straight off, no rehabs, but I'm sure he threw bullpens, etc., and is allegedly ready to go here versus Taijuan Walker, and the Phillies, who obviously everyone knows at this point, they're my World Series team. They've been cruising right along. Taijuan, last 2 starts, varied results, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run there against the Mets. And then at Miami, 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run on a home run there. Pretty dominant as always. I believe in Taijuan typically. Honestly, off the first face of it here, I do lean Phillies, but let's talk about the market here because the Phillies are a very, very popular side. 86% of the bets and 81% of the money on the Phillies here. And this line opened up at minus 138 and has done nothing but go down towards the Texas Rangers here. You're seeing minus 116s now at places. Sheesh. That means some sharps or some reverse line movement on the Rangers has opened up at minus 150. At Bovada, it is now down to minus 125. Very funny enough, the Rangers looking like the side today. Totals wise here, 82% of the money and 84% of the bets, or I should say that backwards actually, on the over here, 82% of the bets and 84% of the money on them. So very interestingly enough, and this opened up at a 9.5, juice to the under, and it's gone all the way up to 10. So shout out to you guys that got on the over 9.5 at even money early. Some 10s are up here now. And by the way, it's still 3-1, top of the ninth, it seems like, in Baltimore, St. Louis game 1. So make that note. It's very interesting. But yeah, I tend to lean towards the Rangers here with that market movement. You know, I thought that the Phillies might be live here, but you guys heard it, and I'll say it again. 86% of the bets and 81% of the money on the Phillies, and we've dropped all the way down towards the Rangers here. Makes me feel like Dane Dunning, or I should better say the offense, has a great day here today. Daby Cab, what's your play on this game?
I'll take the offense before I take the Rangers, right? But I've always said that. Both of these bullpens suck. I was about to bash on the Rangers bullpen, but both of these bullpens suck. I'll get in that in just a minute. But first, I'm going to talk about Dane Dunning. You know, he's one of those pitchers that relies on keeping the ball down in the zone. He throws a sinker, changeup, and he doesn't overpower anything. You know, he's got a pretty decent slider, but if he doesn't keep the ball down, he gives up the long ball. You've seen it time and time again with them. And this is just a Phillies lineup that I do not feel comfortable with him making his first start coming back against. I see him leaving a few balls up here, and I see them making solid contact. Walker on the other side, you look at what he's done. You know, he's only got 2 starts at home this season, 4.66 ERA, 1.24 whip in those 9.2 third innings that he's thrown at home. He gives it up also. Even though he's 3-0, you know, he's still giving up the runs this year. And the Rangers, as much as they've been struggling, I've seen some stats on some of the stuff. I expect their offense to start turning it on. I've been saying that for about a week and a half now, and I've been wrong, but I still think it's coming. I don't trust their pitching staff, and I don't trust either of these bullpens. You look, Philly's bullpen is 23rd in the majors, 4.32 ERA, excuse me. And then you look at the Rangers, they're last, 5.15 ERA in the bullpen. So I like the full game over also. But I got in on this morning, first 5 over 5, minus 120. I tweeted it out. I don't know if you can still get that, but that's where I'm at.
How do you feel about a Rangers team total?
Man, is it really sitting at 3.5?
I have 4.5. I don't know. J-Dub might be looking at first 5, I guess. I don't know. But I have 4.5 juice to minus 120.
Yeah, I like it also.
Okay. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
Oh, nothing. No, Justin, no. The weather information about the Pittsburgh-San Francisco game is important. Storm coming into the area, and
please let them finish the first 5 innings.
It's unclear when it's going to come in at this point, but I still think it was important to grab that line at 365 here personally. But I hear you. For this one, Daby Cab on the first 5 over 5. So let's talk about some of the cappers in the chat that have given us different spots here. We had, first off, pull this up. Where is that? I thought I had all these. Yes, Wine Time is on the over 9.5 at minus 120. Says I expect this to get to a 10 or 10.5 before first pitch. Wanted to give you the 9.5, and then I thought I copied and pasted somebody who was on the under. Billy Friedrich, was that you on the under? I can understand being concerned with Dane Dunning here with that rotator cuff issue. A profit margin says, where do these guys get their numbers? It depends what numbers you're talking about. Line history here. I don't prefer not to talk about the site.
Oh, I thought he meant the bet, Jimmy. I told him I got the first 5 over this morning, but I posted it right when I bet it because I think that 5's a 5.5 now.
Yeah, profit. Let's be a little more specific about our numbers.
But here. I think he's just talking about where the ticket count is, and we use Action Network for the tickets. Again, we have some cappers in the chat that solely focus on individual books, ticket count, like DraftKings and FanDuel. You're going to get different things. When we talk about line history, I'm using Pinnacle opening lines, and Jose's using BetOnline opening lines. We know that BetOnline comes out about 4 hours before Pinnacle, but of course with limits, major limits. So Daby Cab moving on the first 5 over 5. Taiwan Walker at home is somebody that I do trust, but they do not let him see a lineup a third time. And both these teams are hitting righties really hard right now. I can understand moving on this first 5 over. Definitely understand moving on this first 5 over. LJ from H-Town says Rangers team total is 3-11 in the last 14. They are not hitting. Oh, Billy Friedrich had the under in San Francisco Pittsburgh. I thought I had somebody. Morgan Spooner is on the Rangers money line in this one.
I am too. I'm going to be on the Rangers money line plus 109. I just think that it's too hard to resist that all the money is on Philadelphia and we're just getting cheaper and cheaper. So it's just one of those classic. If I can quote Jimmy, all the money's on one side and the market's opening their arms and telling you to bet the Phillies even more.
I know I said this a lot last year, but if you're looking Rangers, I would anytime you like Rangers, just look over, man. Their bullpen sucks. I don't trust Dunning, but yeah, do what you do.
That impression makes me want to cut you. And I don't mean cut you from the show. I mean actually.
No, it's chopstick. Yeah, no, I got you.
I mean sharpened chopstick and slid a little incision there and the neck, not the larynx, but the neck. So you're doing the same thing, and I understand it. You're doing the same thing with the Mets. This market is flying towards Jose Quintana and the Mets, which is a shock. And then,
I just feel like I can't be picky choosy about those things. Like it might not make sense, but it's happening for a reason, I think.
Look, I completely get it. I also don't really have a read on what Dane Dunning is going to do. And it's not like Dane Dunning was that bad to start the year. He just wasn't as good as he was last year. I can understand what everybody's doing here. And,
I think this is going to be an offensive slugfest. I wouldn't be surprised. This is like 10-7 Rangers win.
It is blowing out to left center at Citizens Bank, 10 miles per hour down 8.3. And so I get it. I'm not going to move on it. Markel also on the over, rants on the over. And Troy Torrance saying he's positive that the database would say Rangers. I mean, huge market move towards them. And coin on the Rangers as well. I'm not a Taiwan Walker guy. Why don't we just quickly look at, maybe this is something that should be bet. Let's just take a quick look at the batter versus pitcher, and then we'll move on to the next spot here. So batter versus pitcher in this one. Two very strong offenses against Dunning. Not a ton of history. Merrifield, of course, and Marsh, but that's it.
Yeah, I was going to say there shouldn't be much history either way.
Yeah, and then for Walker, you have Grossman with 13 at-bats, seen him well and hit him well. Corey Seager, hitting 278 with 816 OPS. Simeon hitting him. Yeah, I'm going to stay off of this spot. But I can understand what you guys are doing here. And BJ saying the book's inviting Phillies money. I get it. And Daby Cab on the first 5 over 5 here. First 5 over 5 at minus 120. And Jose on the Rangers first 5 over 5. So that was Daby Cab Rangers first 5 over 5. Yeah. Oh, no, full game. Sorry, that's what am I talking about? Jesus, I was thinking team total in my head. First 5 over 5. And then Daby Cab's other spot, Padres team total over 4.5 minus 115. Daby, sweep the board and come in the black tomorrow. That's what we need. Come in the black tomorrow. Daby Cab, thank you for all of your hard work. Daby Cab, star of Medicate Mondays every Monday here. Every Monday, and a part of all of our live programs here. Daby Cab, please support him on X at Daby Cab. Daby Cab, any last words for the Cap Report and show?
Man, I can tell you guys this. Anybody who's followed along long enough knows. I know I'm sitting right around even right now. 15 and 14? This shit is so lame. It won't stay that way. By the end of this season, we will be in the green. So anybody that's, riding along, I promise we're going to get there. Just like we did in college basketball, it'll start ticking up. We're going to get there. I promise you guys. Jimmy, thank you. Jose, chat, love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
There he is, Dabra Cadabra. We move on to Jose Bouquet's Boston Red Sox, 6:50 p.m. Eastern action. The Red Sox 25 and 24, 15 and 11 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays, 25 and 25, 14 and 14 at home. We're at the Trop in St. Petersburg, Florida. Ryan Bayo going up against Ryan Pepio. Now we have three pitchers who are coming off the IL to throw. We talked about Blake Snell, talked about Dane Dunning. And now we have Ryan Pepio here. So let's pull up the thoughts of, why he was gone for so long and where he was. He hasn't pitched since May 5th. They pulled him after 2 innings. Pepio is a really good pitcher with a high upside, but it's a lower leg injury. So again, we heard Daby Cab talk about not being concerned with pitchers coming off the IL. That it's not an arm injury, and that's something that Peter Loshak talked about a ton. So it was a lower leg injury, and we have a 3-inning bullpen sessions. We have no rehab starts. So I mean, it's not an arm issue. Should we trust Pepio? I like Pepio. So let's talk about the spot. Pepio 3-2, 3.68 ERA, 0.93 whip. He's looked great in a Rays uniform, 41 Ks and 11 walks with 5 jacks. The Rays hitting 234, 663 versus righties. Still a problem. No offense. And Red Sox hitting righties nice, 242, 726 OPS. Andrew G says, Jose wants to bet Bayo. He doesn't call him the name that we banned him from using here on the show, which we thank. We're very thankful for, Jose. Thank you for that. Thank you for listening.
That band list is really getting up there. It's getting long. It's getting long.
It has. Brian Bayo, the initials for Jose's nickname.
Sure, this is the most tempting of them all.
4 2/3 Bayo, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 jacks in that last start. 10-6 loss at the Cardinals. He got lit up and smoked. He went up against Kyle Gibson. Yep. He looked really bad. I know
on his birthday too.
On his birthday, you're right, and you had talked about that.
Yeah, just shit all over me.
Yeah, it was not good. Let's take a look at the line history here. Pepio right now, -113. It was -126. Open up -113. So we have 13 cents of movement towards the Tampa Bay Rays and Ryan Pepio. And on the total, we are sitting here with a 7.5. This opened up at 7.5 at -114 to the over. Now, this didn't open up, though, and Jose might have different numbers at BetOnline because this didn't open up until 11:20 p.m. So I do see on action they say some books opened up at 8. Jose will tell us if BetOnline was one of those books. Pinnacle opened this up 7.5 -114, and it went up to 8. It went up to 8 this morning for about 57 minutes. Back to 7.5, and then right back to 8 again. 8 for another hour and a half, and now it's back at 7.5. So we have no movement at this point on the total. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, 98% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the over. Ton of money on the over. Then we have 37% of tickets, 44% of cash on the Boston Red Sox. Take it away for us here, Jose. Red Sox, Rays.
Yeah, no action here again, but this was another lean towards the Red Sox and under here. The Red Sox are playing pretty well. They've been fun to watch. Ryan Pepio, he's been solid. I just don't believe in him all that much, but the line has been steaming towards the Rays here, like 15 cents of movement towards them. I had opening up at -115 at one point and going all the way up there. So yeah, I just stayed off of this game. I do expect Brian Bayo to have a bounce back start. I'm sure he'll be motivated as well. And 98 and 97% of the money on the over. So yeah, I lean under, but no action for me on this one. And shout out to those who bet college baseball. I cannot do that. The only thing college baseball I can bet is the draft. I'm decent at betting the draft.
So you're confident Bayo has a bounce back spot. There's all this money on the over. So what is keeping you off the under? You don't believe in Pepio off the IL?
I don't believe in Pepio off the IL. And since these guys have seen each other so much, bullpen, not even the starters, because like you just mentioned, Bayo's last start was against the Cardinals. The bullpens, they've seen everyone at this point, I'm sure. So just a lot of familiarity that I wanted to stay off a low number at 7.5. But yes, this is an under lean for me.
Yeah.
This goes in the if bet categories for me.
Boston, only Cooper has seen Pepio.
And he sucks.
And the Rays have pretty good numbers against Bayo.
So, yeah.
Don't they?
It's going to be interesting. I think it's a Rays spot for sure. Like I said, off that line movement makes it seem like they're very alive to win this game. Low scoring game.
Damn. All right. I'm going to have to look at this further, but I'm going to be moving on this game. I would prefer not to double up on both the Rays and the under. Maybe it'd be better just to focus on it. What has Bayo done this year after a bad start? Is this his first really bad start? Or has he had others?
Sorry,
Gino?
muted there. Looking it up right now. This is basically like the only bad one he's had. He had a 5-inning, 4-run performance in Oakland. Bounced back and had 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. Only one of them earned against Baltimore. So if you want to label that as a bad start, and we also bet against him that day because for some reason he's bad in Oakland. I don't know why. But yeah, I do expect to bounce back here. But the issue is, it's not like none of his starts have been really phenomenal this year, except for one 6-inning, 1-hit performance at Pittsburgh, and they suck. So that's my concern here.
Justin McKelvey shouting out Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog of the play, cashing yesterday. It's Boston today. Sunny Springs loving that over 9 and
back-to-back days. And that seems like it might be 3 days in a row of Boston there, Ronnie.
Huh. Shout out to Ron Crawford, our guy Ronnie Crawford. I'm going to be moving on the Rays, and I guess the under. I guess need a little bit more time. Shout out to our guy Ron Crawford. There's our guy Big Show Picks in the house. We are very proud of our new UFC show, the Locker Room Podcast, starring Billy Brisbane, starring Millsy, MMA Locker Room, and just my 2 cents, and of course Big Show Picks. So they're UFC off this week, but please keep an eye out for it. They're doing it live now. Which I think is great. So watch for it. We're very proud of it. It's our big new show, so keep an eye on for it. Ron Crawford says today is Seattle, but Boston fits again here. Today is Seattle, but Boston fits again. So that would
talk
be
about Seattle. Yeah, spreadsheet dog.
Yeah, that'd be the spreadsheet dog. Oh, today is Seattle. Okay, sorry. So spreadsheet. Oh, okay, sorry. So spreadsheet dog is Boston, but the spreadsheet dog play of the day is Seattle. Thank you. And I'm interested in Seattle here. So let's roll. By the way, Joe Yerker says Wheeler versus Scrub versus Texas tomorrow. Getting real early because action will be towards Philly tomorrow.
Jesus.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Joe. Get that.
Is it Joe? Is that a scrub as in a picture that's bad, or is that Andre Scrub, the actual picture? Because there is a picture with the last name Scrub somewhere. I know him.
Well, let's roll on to the spreadsheet dog of the day. Seattle Mariners 27-22, 12-12 on the road. The New York Yankees 33-17, 16-8 at home. We're at the Bronx, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Let's take a look at the weather to get us started here in the Bronx. It is 76 Fahrenheit, 10.1 miles per hour right to left, very slightly in, dies down to 7.3 during the game. Let's move on to the line history here in Mariners Yankees. Nasty Nestor Cortez up against Bryce Miller. Cortez opening up -146, now -158. We've had 12 cents of movement towards Nestor Cortez. And then let's move on to the total. This total is sitting at 8.5. This opened up at, it's back at 8. So it just moved back to 8 6 minutes ago. Opens up at 8. Gets to 8.5 at 8:55 this morning, and then comes back to 8. So at this point, we've still had 16 cents of movement towards the over, despite it coming back to 8. Wine Time says very close to betting the Yankees -1.5. Why don't we take a look at the cash flow here for this spot? 83% of tickets and 92% of the cash on the New York Yankees. Not -200, so not in the cash cow range. And then on the total, you have 85% of tickets, 84% of cash on that over. Bryce Miller, 3-4, 3.08 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. His last start was not good. A 9-2 loss at the Orioles. I made the mistake of backing him. Mariners had a great first inning. I think it was against Bradish. Why can't I? No. It was against John Means, I believe. They had a great first start, and then everything fell apart. First inning, and then he got just lit up immediately. Nasty Nestor coming off a great start, but it was at the White Sox. We know the White Sox can't hit lefties, but either can the Mariners. Mariners hitting 228, 686 OPS versus lefties. Yankees versus righties, 267, 87 OPS. Both bullpens absolutely elite. Take it away for us here, Jose. Seattle Mariners, New York Yankees.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Rance. I thought this was a sneaky over game, honestly. I think Bryce Miller is good, but he's hittable. And especially in a small ballpark like New York, I think he can be got. And everyone knows that I don't like Nestor Cortez, and I don't think he is, and I don't think he has been very good this year at all. Seattle against lefties this month so far, 7th, 128 weighted runs created plus, and 182 plate appearances. Full season, they're about average, 16th, 101. So they're hitting them better now. But I do want to bet the over in this game. I haven't moved anything yet. By the way, nice. 1-0 Mets. Very good. Love to see that. But I will say this total went from 7.5.
Twins just hit a home run.
Okay. That's not as ideal, but whatever. Take it.
Kepler.
Fucking Nationals. At least it's 1-0. But yeah, I like the over in this game, and we're seeing 8 minus 120, and there's starting to be 8.5 pop up. So I think I will move on this over. Yeah, well, my only hesitancy is it's public. 85% of the bets, 84% of the money on it, but at least it's going up.
Okay, are you going to be? Is that a confirmed definitely moving on the over, or you're still kind of hemming and hawing?
No, I'm going to move on it. Over 8 minus 115.
Over 8 minus 115 for Jose. Spreadsheet dog play today 5-2 up 6.03 units is Seattle plus 138. I'm going to stay off that spot, but let's move on to 7:07 p.m. Eastern with the Chicago White Sox 15-34, 5-20 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays 1-26, 11-12 at home. We're at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario.
What an embarrassment.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I don't care. I mean, we just want everybody fired. Please fire everybody and trade everybody. Can we just start again from scratch? Can you offer Anthopoulos $10 million a year to come back? White Sox, Blue Jays here at the Rogers Center. It's beautiful in Toronto. 77 Fahrenheit, 15.5 miles per hour to right field. That's down to 12.5 miles per hour. It's absolutely beautiful there. Some Solution says, no way Mets get swept here. White Sox, Blue Jays, we have Nick Nastrini. And, he's been bad this year. There's a highly thought of pitcher, 4th round pick in the 2021 draft out of the Dodgers. And he's been horrible this year. Now, what can fix that? Pitching against the Blue Jays. But he went 0-4 in AAA in 6 starts with a 5.83 ERA and a 1.5 WHIP. I mean, he looked really bad. He in those starts he allowed 9 home runs and 29 in the third. Comes up into the show and he's 0-2 in 2 starts in the show. He's only thrown 8 innings and he's already allowed 7 earned runs with a 2 WHIP. He's been terrible. But I'm telling you, if you need to get right, face the Toronto Blue Jays. Nick Nastrini's also coming off a start at Philadelphia. We know how difficult the Phillies are and how much tougher they are against the Jays. In comparison to the Jays. Nastrini went 3 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks. I mean, he's horrible. Chris Bassett coming off allowing 3 earned runs in the 4-3 loss at home versus the Rays, went 5 2/3. The teams are both horrible against righties. White Sox 222, 624. Blue Jays 227, 668. This is an opportunity for a bounce back start from Bassett. This total is at 8.5. It opened up minus 109 to the under. It is minus 109 to the under. So we've had no movement at all on the total. On the money line here, we have the Jays at minus 231. I mean, that's just nuts, but probably deserves it in this spot. Now down to minus 226. Only 6 cents. That's it. 6 cents of movement. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. 90% of the tickets and 88% cash on the over, 90 and 88. And then on the money line, we have 92 and 93 on the Jays. The under appeals to me, Jose. I think that this is a great opportunity for Nastrini to get right. The problem is it's blowing out and it's really offensive weather. And do I need to do this? I mean, I don't know. I don't need to bet this, even though if I had a free bet, I'd be on it. Take it away by the way, LJ from H-Town moving on. Judge over 1.5 bases, best prop bet 8-1 to the over 1.5 bases, 3rd game of the series in the division. He has 2 homers off of Miller already. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, White Sox, Blue Jays.
No action. I'd lean White Sox because of how bad the Jays have been. I did just, Big Show was talking trades in the chat, and I was just in my head thinking, I was like, oh, the Tigers, could they get Bo Bichette? I was like, oh, that'll be interesting. What if they send, Javi Baez to the Blue Jays and they send him a shitload of prospects? And then I looked at Javi Baez's contract.
No.
He has $25 million this year, $25 million next year, $24 million the next year after that, and $24 million the next year after that. Oh man, yeah. I was hoping maybe that they could get him off your hands, Big Show. They can give him Torkelson and whatever top prospects you have, but no, thank you, Jesus, no action.
Yeah, I can't do it, but it does feel sneaky. It does feel appealing. White Sox bullpen's been better than I expected. The Blue Jays bullpen's been awful. I keep telling you they're going to be better than, and you know what? I'm still going to be betting this bullpen as if they can hold leads. And I know that may sound crazy, but I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I just can't do it here. I can't do it here. It's too bad. If the roof was closed, I bet this. But it's going to be beautiful with the wind blowing out heavy. And I got to stay off of it. I'm not going to bet the over, though. Let's move on. We have 3 games left in MLB, and then we're doubling up in NBA. 7:40 p.m. Eastern, we have the Atlanta Braves 27-18, 11-10 on the road at the Chicago Cubs 27-22, 15-9 at home at Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. Cubs did come through for us, but we had plenty of chances not to lose that first 5.
Yeah.
It's too bad. But Max Fried going up against Justin Steele. Everybody thought Justin Steele was going to be a nominee for the Cy, and then he got hurt, and he's not looked good since he came back, and it was not an arm issue. He's looked bad. He's coming off 5-4 loss at home versus the Pirates. I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to shove that day. He did not. 5 runs, 4 of which were earned. Steele 5.2 on ERA, 1.2 on WHIP. Very interesting pitcher at this point. And the Cubs are a really good ball club. If Justin Steele started pitching the way people expected him to pitch, they'd be laughing. Max Fried, on the other hand, 3.81 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. I don't know what to make of him. He's sort of a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher. Coming off 3-1 loss at home versus the Padres. He allowed 3 runs over 4 in the third, and the Padres got 9 hits on him. Remember, the Pirates can't hit lefties this year. So the fact that, no Soto, no Bueno, and it's just not working. And the fact that they got the Fried is illuminating. These teams hit lefties hard. Braves 257, 760. Cubbies 253, 729. Braves bullpen's been quite good this year, while the Cubs bullpen has struggled at times. Morgan Spooner says this is a Brave spot for me. Steele isn't right yet. I took the Cubs yesterday. Looking forward to these 2 games, penciling the Braves in for 2 wins. So let's get into the line history here for this spot. The Atlanta Braves sitting at minus 133 right now. They open up minus 135. So we've had no movement on the total of this one. Some solution liking the Braves in this spot. On the total, we have an 8.5. It's minus 118 to the over. This opened up at 9. Opened up at 9 and dropped to 8.5. That is a peculiar. And then the cash flow has 77% of tickets and 86% of cash on the Braves. And on the total, we have 95 and 95. 95% tickets, 95% cash on the over. And this immediately moved to the under. This is... The market's telling us that they're going to pitch well, that Steele's going to have a bounce back start. These teams hit lefties. Nothing correlates for me, Jose. Does anything for you?
Yeah, I did look at Chicago here. I mean, they were one of the lanes I had pre-show. I just don't know if I can move on them. Like I said, I don't know if I can really be picky choosy in these situations about which I back and which I don't. But my issue is that I see this line opening up at minus 132. It's down to minus 127, so not that much movement. And Bovada had this opening up at minus 142. It's there now. So I just don't have that much movement on the Braves, and that's the only thing that's holding me back from betting the Cubs here, honestly.
Yeah, this is I do not find this appealing here. Not at all. Let's see if we can get a hit from the Nats. And no. We do have a runner on first, though. But Ildemaro Vargas at the plate, who is got a big upside, Vargas, here. And this should be a nice opportunity for him to take Simeon Woods Richardson yardstick. Can we do that? And no. Oh, but it's stolen. Oh, no, he fouled it? God damn it. Okay, let's move on to. We got 2 games left, and let's roll on. Shout out to Nunya in the house. Benjamin Mills looking at first 5 under. Okay, so 9:40 p.m. Eastern with the Colorado Rockies 15-32, 6-20 on the road. The Oakland A's 20-30, 11-13 home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Shout out to Aaron Brooks and Cal Quantrill, although it still was a push. I did still like seeing Brooks pitch well. Let's take a look at the weather in Oakland. Oh, I don't know if we talked about the weather in Chicago, by the way. 13.5 miles per hour to right field. So it's offensive weather in Chicago at Wrigley. Here.
By the way, can we just mention that Charlie Morton prop? What the fuck? Oh, my God. What a fucking line.
He deserved to allow a couple runs there. But
it was so funny to me, of course, that he gives up 2 runs, but in classic fashion, one has to be unearned as well. So it's disgusting.
All right, we have 2 out with a runner on first there. Back to this Rockies A spot. 67 Fahrenheit, warm, 10.7 miles out to right field, between 10.7 and 8.1 miles per hour. You know, it's Oakland, wind swirls. By the way, my dude loving the Braves today. Says bats are coming alive as late. They smashed Steele today. Who's pitching like shit? He's a Cubs fan. Robert Franklin on the Braves first 5 minus a half. Sean Pulliam, by the way, is back on the Nerfy here in Colorado, Oakland. Some Solution is with us in that under 7, although I'm not on the under 7. I'm on the first 3 under and the first 5 under. I just think when those lefties get off the mound that, the opportunity to hit will be then. Austin Gobber going up against Mitch Spence. We know Austin Gomber. He's been very good to young Jose Bouquett. But let's talk about Mitch Spence. He has not been very good. Mitch Spence right now, a 10th round pick by the New York Yankees in the 2019 draft. 26 years old out of Kirkland, Washington. Wilkes-Barre Scranton last year in AAA. He was okay. 8-8 with a 4.47 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. In Oakland this year, he's been pretty good. 3-2. 3.90 ERA. He's been good. He's only started 1 game. So he's come out of the bullpen in 11 starts. He's finished off 2 games, but this will be his second start for young Mitch Spence, who in his last appearance, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 1 walk, and a 6-2 loss at the Royals. Gomber pitching very well. 3.02 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. The A's don't hit lefties. 208, 648 OPS. Rockies versus righties, 245, 689 OPS. And Coin says 99 and 99 on the over. It's the Nerfy is in Atlanta. Okay, thank you, Sean. My bad. Thank you for pointing that out. So
that's fucking big balls, Sharon. Big balls.
Let's take a look at the line history here. We're dealing with an 8. This opened up at 7.5 at 5:51 p.m. and it took about 20 minutes to get to the 8. It was juiced to the under, and it came back to 7.5 again at midnight, around 12:30, and then back to 8 30 minutes later, and it has stayed at 8. Now it's sitting there minus 111 to the under. And then let's talk about this cash flow that our guy Coin is talking about. Cash flow wise for this spot, we have 99 and 99 on the over. That is a lot of money on the over. It has gone from 7.5 to 8. And then in the cash department for the side, Athletics have 79% of tickets, 65% of cash. That's a surprise that they're being backed to that number. Let's see what the money line is done here in this one. From the money line with Spence on the mound, Oakland opened up minus 122, now minus 140. Wow. Yep. Holy shit. Take it away, Jose. We have Gomber and Spence pitching in Oakland.
Yeah, that's what kept me off, honestly. I'd be on Rockies first 5 here. Maybe it's cheap enough now you could take a Rockies. You could take a Rockies for, it's minus 130, actually. I consider Rockies. I like the Rockies. We talked about Gomber being last year's king of the first 5 innings. I think he's a good bet. Anytime you bet him first 5, I consider taking him plus a half here, but juiced. So no action for me.
I don't dislike the under. Spence feeling good about himself, pitching well. Rockies aren't familiar with them. Why aren't you on the first 5 under?
I just didn't move on it. I have no particular reason. I guess I just don't trust Spence enough. He's coming off of a really good start. But it's always good fading those 99% spots. I'll say that.
It's a 4.5. Huh. I'm interested in that first 5 under. I'm interested in it. Gomber pitching well. A's don't hit lefties. Rockies don't hit righties. They have no power at all against righties. I'm interested in this first 5 under. Kelsey on Nationals, Royals, Yankees, and the Storm today. Let's just your thoughts on the Rockies bullpen. They've been much better of late, and the A's bullpen has been trustworthy all year long. Do you think that these bullpens are good enough to focus on a full game, or would you be focusing on the first 5?
I'd rather bet first 5. I don't trust the Rockies bullpen. Gave up a lead last night, actually. And obviously the A's bullpen's elite, but Mason Miller 3 yesterday. If in another safe situation to get today, I expect him to go, but it's always dicey. So no action on that total either. But I would bet first 5 over full game, yes.
Okay. Let's move on to our final spot on the board. Arizona Diamondbacks 23-26, 11-13 on the road. At the LA Dodgers 33-18, 19-10 at home. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Ryan Nelson just got lit up and smoked in that last start. When he went up against Tariq Skubal, and he was just so horrible. Tyler Glasnow 6-2, 2.90 ERA, 0.90 WHIP. His last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, Ks, 1 walk, and 7-2 loss at home versus the Reds. Glasnow did not deliver last start. He's a hard pitcher to figure out right now. He did not look in control. That was when he went up against Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez was out pitching him.
It was a good bullpen day.
It was a great bullpen day. You're absolutely right. And the market told us that was going to happen. Glasnow sitting at minus 282. Opened up minus 275, and there was a move against him. This went down to minus 262 before it kind of slightly moved back towards him. On the total here, we have the total at 8. It's at a pick'em right now. Let me just ensure that hasn't changed. It's at a pick'em. So there's been 5 cents of movement towards the under. It's now 2-0 Mets, so the market was really speaking in that one. So cash wise here, we have 97% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over. You have 91% of tickets, 98% of cash on the Dodgers. I can't trust Ryan Nelson to bounce back here. 7.06 ERA, 1.88 WHIP. How long is he going to be in this rotation? Take it away, Jose. Our final spot on the board, Diamondbacks, Dodgers.
Yeah, shout out to you, Morgan Spooner. Thanks for watching. I'd say of all the pitchers that I've faded this year, my favorite to fade is Tyler Glasnow. And it's just because his prices when he pitches are insanity. They're super juiced, and I think it's just way too high for him. But Ryan Nelson sucks, and I don't trust him. And I would expect Glasnow to bounce back after such a shitty start. So no action for me here, but I will just say notice how this isn't a minus 300. So no action. But this should and probably could be a minus 300, but they know what's up. So no action for me.
That concludes all action. So let's review cash flow here. Let's review action here. In MLB. We'll review all action here shortly. Remember, we've moved horse racing to Thursday and Friday, and $100 up for grabs tomorrow. $100 up for grabs. Stacks play today. Juan Soto over 1.5 bases at plus 110. He's got 2 of them. He also has Kyle Tucker RBI plus 135. LJ from H-Town, Yankees money line, Judge over 1.5 bases, and Dallas Wolves under 206.5. Morgan Spooner on Rangers money line and Royals money line. Billy Friedrich Pig Milk play today, which is 23-17 plus 7.83 units, is San Francisco Pittsburgh first 5 under 3.5 plus 101. Mike Wilkerson is on the Dodgers minus 1.5 and the Guardians money line. And Wine Time has 2 units in play on the over 9.5 in the Philadelphia Rangers game. Jose and I get our card started on the Nationals first 5. Let's just jump into what's going on. First 5 card, Mets up 2-0. Going to the bottom of the third here, just need to get 1 run off of Simeon Woods Richardson. Can we get that 1 run to at least get the push and then hopefully be live for the bottom of the 5th? That would be very nice here. So here we go. Mets minus 107 for Jose, trusting the market. is looking very good for you. The Orioles, Cardinals, no action. Angels, Astros, no action. My card starts with the first 3 under 2 at -113. Again, I use the -1 calculator for that, and the first 5 under 3.5 at even money. Jay Smooth balls play today is Ragans 7 or more strikeouts at +116. Then I'm going to be on the first 5 under 3.5 now, confirmed on Milwaukee, Miami. Cab, best bet, Padres team total over 4.5. Jose's on the first 5 under 4 at -125 and Giants Pirates, and I joined them and I got 4 at -120, and I had to bet it right away to ensure that. So I would just like to take a peek here and just see if that's changed. I thought, it was 10 cents better than what it was at Pinnacle at the time. I was like, I was surprised that they were offering it at that price. Right now, the first 5 under 4 is still -120. So they're still going to be offering something that's 10 cents better than Pinnacle, which is surprising. I thought I had to bet it right away. Cabs on the first 5 over 5 in Rangers, Philadelphia. We already heard wine times 2 unit bet on the over. Jose's on the Rangers, money line +109. Looks like the Mets are capable of taking him to the cash flow. We'll see if the Rangers do the same. Ron spreadsheet dog is Boston Red Sox, but his spreadsheet play of the day is the Seattle Mariners. That's the dog play of the day. I want the Rays and the full game under. I'm a little concerned about Bayo bounce back start, but if he does, I expect Pepio to be okay. Jose's on the over 8 at -115 in Mariners Yankees. I'm very interested. I don't know if I get there, but I'm interested. I'm leaning towards not getting there. White Sox Jays. If I had the free bet, I'd be on the under 8.5. I'm not going to get there. Braves Cubs. A lot of fascinating action from our cappers in the chat, but nothing for Jose and I. And then I've got the first 5 under in Colorado, Oakland. So it's not a very big card for me today. Jose, did I miss any of your action?
Not that I know. Well, I mean, the most important play today, Seattle Storm first half -3. Obviously, forgot about that one. -105. Shout out to the dub. 1-1, Jimmy. 1-1. We're gonna rock and roll the WNBA this year. I can't wait.
I look forward to watching you deliver in the WNBA. 2-2 count, no on, none out in the bottom of the 3rd for our Nats to get our card started. Well, that concludes MLB action here on Betting with the Bag for Wednesday, May 22nd. Time to talk NBA. 7-game winning streak snapped by losing all 3 of my bets yesterday. In NBA, hurt badly. So let's talk NBA. Our guest swept the board on his last show with us, and we need to get hot here. It's playoff time. We're running out of opportunities to smash NBA. Please welcome, coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada, the freshest capper in the handicapping industry. Please welcome Mr. Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, my guy, what's good? How are you?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you're looking at the plug. Yeah, man. Good to be back with you, my friend. Took it on the chin yesterday as well. Nasty Nate trifecta my motherfucking ass. God damn it. What the fuck was that? Them Fugazi ass Celtics, man. I mean, just when you think they got a team that might be a little bit softer than them and they could take advantage of it. In a perfect situation, game 1, Jim. And honestly, I seen what I thought. The Pacers are going to give these boys run. I didn't think it would be in game 1. But they are going to give these boys runs. So, took it on the chin yesterday. Ready to get back in the black. We did have a good week last week. But unfortunately, you're only good as your last bet. And yesterday was pretty motherfucking shitty.
I can't wait to talk about that because the pace of play, Jesus, from the average on that, I mean, there was 16 more possessions than what we've seen, 8 for each side. I mean, that's the fastest pace of play by any playoff game in this year. I mean, it was just
it's pickup basketball, man. It's pickup basketball. It's really at an elite level is what it is.
It was astonishing. Let's get to work here. We start with tonight's action, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Dallas Mavericks 50-32, 25-16 on the road at the Minnesota Timberwolves 56-26, 30-11 at home. West Finals Game 1, Mavericks, Minnesota. We got a great series on our hands. We're at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we've already heard from BJ. BJ is on best bet, the Dallas Mavericks at +4.5. Last week you watched Dutch and I both move on the Mavericks first half and full game, and both cash first half and full game. Coin also on Dallas +4. So let's get to work here. We'll start with D-line history and then get into the cash flow and then X's and O's and hand it over to our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. So in line history wise, we're going to be using Pinnacle line moves. We're seeing Minnesota right now -4.5, -106. Opened up at 4, went to 4.5, and then back to 4. They were at 4 until 10:35 this morning when they had their second foray into this 4.5 zone, which they're at right now, slightly juiced towards the Timberwolves. Half-point move to the Timberwolves. The total is sitting here at 207. It's -112 to the under. And I moved on the under. I'm on the first half under and full game under. I'm on the first half under 106 and full game under 207 right now. Sly Astute Chaos now said, I was able to help people yesterday. He was on the first quarter and first half overs. That was great. Excellent work. And Wine Time, not even taking the points, Dutch. Wine Time is on the Mavs money line at +150. Let's take a look at the cash flow at this point. We're going to have a lot of tickets in. At this point, we have 47,230 tickets in, 76% of tickets, and 81% of the cash on the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the total, 92% of tickets and 91% of cash on the over. When we talked about this game briefly yesterday, there was 208s around. All this money coming in on the over, and yet it has dropped to make the over more appealing to gamblers. In the playoffs, both teams have almost played at the exact same pace. 93.38 possessions a game for Dallas and 93 for Minnesota. Dallas has not shot the ball well, but that's sort of Luka. Luka's not shot the ball well in the playoffs. 45.9% from the field and 36.6% from three. Minnesota a little better from the field, 47.2%, and from three, 35.8%. Astute Chaos is on the first half under. I love seeing that. And Mikey Money says Mavs money line spot. So at this point, and we're going to be talking about what the chat is on, only Doug is on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he bet them down to -3. Not seeing Timberwolves action from anybody here. So let's set it up for you, Dutchy. Timberwolves were last in the conference finals in 2004. They lost to the Lakers. Lakers went on to lose to the Pistons 5. It was a great, I remember that whole playoffs. It was a fun playoffs, man. And the Mavericks were here 2 years ago, bounced in 5 games by the eventual champion Golden State Warriors. Minnesota coming off a Game 7 win against the Nuggets. It was unbelievable to think that the score was 58-38 Denver. And then looking at the final score, I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like I kept saying over and over again, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't. No, it was a great time for unders, and it was everything. My action worked out great, but still, I was astonished. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Nobody stepping up except for Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And Jokic missed his first 8 threes, and Murray did nothing in the second half. So it's not like they were great. Timberwolves held Denver to less than 100 points in all 4 victories. You have Gobert and you have Jaden McDaniels. Remember, McDaniels was a missing piece last year. He broke his hand punching a wall. And Edwards, 28.9 points per game. Karl Anthony Towns, 18.8, 9.3. And McDaniels, I know it's all about his defense, but 12.4 points per game. The Dallas Mavericks have been a model of consistency in this year's playoffs. 2-1 at home, 2-1 on the road. In each series they've played so far, they beat the Clippers in 6, and then they beat the Thunder in 6. Luka, 27.3 points per game, 9.7 rebounds, 9.1 assists. Nobody needed the break more than Luka Doncic, who should be healthy, fresh, and ready to roll. Kyrie Irving playing completely in himself, not doing too much, 21.1 points per game, and shooting 48.2 from the field. And then PJ Washington. Now, there was games he didn't really show up, but when push came to shove, he showed up in the second half to knock out the Thunder. He had huge games from 3. He's been very good, 14.3 points per game. Derek Jones, 10.8 points per game. So Jones, Washington, Irving, Luka. We haven't talked about the 2 most important. Well, no. What am I talking about? Luka is the most important piece. Don't get me wrong. But Gafford and Lively on Gobert. That's what it's all going to come down to in this series. And it seems like when one isn't rolling, the other is. The Mavs believe both can bang with Gobert and Dutch. I really want you to touch on that matchup. In Game 6, Lively was so good and Gafford was so bad, but either can step up. But Lively plus 26 with 15 boards and 12 points.
Yeah.
God, good. And there's going to be no Maxi Kleber. Look, I'm not sitting here saying Maxi Kleber is a really good ball player or anything like that, but you got to pull Gobert out, and he can do that. He can hit threes. Not only that, but don't you want 6 more fouls for Gobert? So it's too bad Kleber's in there just for slapping Gobert. Minnesota won the regular season series 3-1, but Dallas was hurt most of those games. So here we go. Bagel Boy, we do have rules in the chat. And one is the no lying. So you saying Luka COVID positive, that's enough to get bounced from the chat. I won't do it right now just because we're trying to keep positivity here. But that is a bounce worthy. That's banned forever worthy here. So we don't give a fuck about your love for bagels. Shut the fuck up unless you're going to take this seriously.
Bagel Boy, that's got to be one of the worst. I mean, I think the only way it can get worse than the Bagel Boy if it's Bitch Boy. I mean, he's on his motherfucking way. He's
acting like a bitch boy right now. And don't fuck with that. You know what? I'm bouncing him. What is the point of that? I mean,
I see he attacked me right off the get-go, but
I didn't see that. But Bagel Boy's gone. Okay, so here we go. Dutch Boy Fresh, take it away. Dallas Mavericks, Minnesota Timberwolves. Floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, man. One hell of a series we got here. And I mean, Dallas, I seen it. The writing was on the wall for Dallas. Outside of game 1 against OKC, they were clearly the better team to me. Had one game in the fourth quarter in game 4 where they just collapsed and completely were out of character, in my opinion. Outside of that, series went how I thought. I cannot say the same, however, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I did not see them winning game 2. Definitely did not see them winning game 7. But you live and learn, and what I see in Minnesota is a really, really good basketball team, a team that plays together. They have a leader in Mike Conley. They have a superstar in Anthony Edwards, and they got some pieces, man. McDaniels is elite defender. You touched on it. I mean, the guy's 6'8", got a crazy wingspan, can move. I mean, he's going to give anybody problems. Nice matchup they have with Luka, with the length. But we know Luka, I think the size will be he's a problem for anyone. So definitely someone if you draw it up would be a pretty good defender for Luka. And also I hear Ant-Man's going to take Kyrie. I think Kyrie can exploit that matchup. I know Anthony Edwards is nice, but I think when Kyrie's locked in, he's too quick for him, and nobody could really stop Kyrie. So Kyrie's got to be Uncle Drew in this series. He didn't play that great in OKC. He's got to be locked the fuck in. Dallas has had trouble game 1s, Jim. They've had troubles game 1, lost out, did not look good, did not look prepared against the Clippers game 1, and did not look good at all outside of that first quarter against OKC in game 1. So I think Jason Kidd takes from this. He learns from this. I think we have a team that we can't really compare to Boston in yesterday's game. I think they have a coach that holds people accountable for it. I don't think they really have that in Boston. They got some leaders in Dallas, and they got some toughness. This team is not soft, as we just seen against OKC. They're playing physical basketball. Jason Kidd got these boys playing old school basketball. So I like what I see. I think Derrick Jones is perfect fucking matchup for Anthony Edwards. Is Anthony Edwards going to get his? Absolutely. But Derrick Jones, long, lanky, is going to give this guy some trouble. Also, you could put PJ Washington on him. I think the stoutness of PJ will give him the physical play, will give him also a little bit of trouble as well. So I like what I see from Dallas, that they could throw out Ant-Man. Now, where I'm worried about is Anthony is Cat. Towns is fucking. I don't think they really have anything for Cat if Cat can be locked in. But we've talked for years now, Jim, how this guy, it's night and day with Anthony Towns. One day he looks like one of the elite big men, and the next day you can't even tell he's on the fucking court. So I'm hoping that Dallas can contain him and that we don't see an elite, Anthony Towns tonight. I don't believe tonight though. I'm mainly right now talking about this series, but as of tonight, I am on Dallas first half full game, and I'm on the under with you full game, Jim. So 3 plays for me in this game. I'm not going to go too much off of what I seen with Boston last night because you have Indiana going with the 7-game series, only 1 day off, and then still coming in there. But if you've seen it, a real team, a real fucking killer, a team that has some motherfucking toughness to them, which I don't believe Boston does, which is why they're missing Marcus Smart right now. They're up 12-0. Indiana didn't really want to be there. They really didn't want to be there. They started off 12-0. They could have put them boys away. They looked lost. Rick Carlisle looked lost. The whole team looked lost to start that game. And then all of a sudden, Boston just want to be in cruise control. They don't have that killer instinct. They don't want to put them away. And look what happened. Even in the third quarter, they went up. You thought, okay, they're going to run away with this. No, they let teams stick around. Dallas is not the same basketball team. They're better coached. They have elite talent with toughness that comes with it with Luka and Kyrie. I think they get in here and handle it. I think it's too big of a win, too big of a series for Minnesota just to get right back into it right away. I think they get woken up game 1. And then they obviously will be on Minnesota game 2 here. But I like Dallas here. I think they hold them down in the paint. Mainly, both of these teams clog the paint. Both of these teams play physical defense. So I don't understand how people are looking for the over. I was on the show with Bobano and Ski yesterday. They both looked over. I said, no fucking way. The number has creeped down since yesterday. And everyone's liking the over, Jim. I don't get it. I think Luka and them boys slow it down. Bring it to a fourth quarter. Could be a 2-possession basketball game, and I think they find a way. I like wine times money line play, but give me the 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota finds a way, but I think Luka and the boys get it done.
Let's lock this in for you. So we can get you the 4.5. Did you also want the first half as well? Is that what you're? Is that why you are? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I split my units up, but yeah, we'll do and then full game under.
And full game under, we can get you that 207. I'm surprised to hear that Ski and not Bobano bets. Bobano only looks overs, but I'm surprised they were both confident on the over. Is a little surprising.
Yeah, it was to me too. Now the next game we're talking about, we could talk all about the overs, but this game, the team that breaks 100 is going to win the motherfucking basketball game, in my opinion. And you got Minnesota, who was down 15 at halftime in Game 7 in Denver, the toughest place to play is Game 7. For 48 minutes, you had to flip a switch that nobody really thought was possible in that game in the second half. You did it. You locked down on defense. You played your fucking hearts out, and you handle business. Now you get 2 days off. You go home. I just don't think they're going to be ready for this competition yet. But I do worry about this game, full game. The longer this game goes, I don't know, Minnesota, man, they're tough, Jim. They're tough. They impressed me a lot with Denver. They really did.
Oh, they sure did. That's why you play 7 games. Nikolai said it best. He's like, that's 7-game series. The best team wins in a 7-game series, and Minnesota was the best team. So the market is moving towards Minnesota right now as we speak. So we can get you the first half +3 and -111. The only decision you have to make here is the full game. Do you want the +4.5 at -104, or do you want the +5 at -115?
Damn, it's like that now, huh? That's crazy.
Yeah.
People Minnesota been nice at home too. So, and then obviously they seen last night. So yeah, I like the 4.5, Jim. Give me the 4.5.
4.5 at -1.
I bet it at 4. So.
Okay, well then you can have if you're keeping Vig down, you do have that option on the on the +2.5 is even money.
Yeah, give me that.
+2.5 even money.
Yeah, because this is what I officially bet. So if I have 3 on my books later in the day, I'll probably go back to the window. Like, I like that first half an awful lot. The more and more I think about this game, the full game scares me a little bit. It really does. But this Minnesota team, man, I'm seeing them when I fucking close my eyes at night, Jim. They took some money from me. They've taken some money from me. I didn't think they was going to sweep Phoenix by any means. I had a significant bet on Game 3 in Phoenix. I had a significant bet in Game 2 in Denver. at a significant bet in Game 7. So if you could ask me one team that I don't really, that I'm a little scary of, it's these Minnesota Timberwolves, and Ann will let you know about it too. God damn it!
Oh, no doubt about it. Storage Club says under on the total 208 is so low. I crushed the under in Game 7, and I would have bet it at 197, but I sat there and waited for it to climb. It was a holiday weekend up here, and we were at a playground, and I'm sitting there just watching it. It gets up to 201.5, 30 minutes before game time, and I got the under there, and I was, what was 188 points. So I have no problem betting unders with low totals at all. I never have. And so I don't think it's a low total here with the way these two teams play. And before we move on, Dutch, talk about Gobert, Gafford, and Lively. Who do you think steps up is it Gafford or Lively? Who do you think sees the most of Gobert, and who do you think can do the best job slowing him down? Talk about that matchup, please.
So here's what I like about it both. Okay, so Gafford's going to piss you off, obviously, but he's physical. He's going to be physical with Rudy, and both of the big men can move up and down the court. I know Maxi Kleber, you was talking about him too as well. It'd be nice to have him out there spread the court, but defensively, get the fuck out of here. All right, so Gafford's going to make him run up and down the court. Obviously, Lively moves up and down the court, young legs, keep it going. So I think it's a beautiful thing. When you're Jason Kidd now, you press the button. It's like if Gafford ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing, you press Lively. Most importantly, both of these bigs are going to keep Rudy Gobert moving nonstop. So I understand what you're saying about about him being neither one of them being a 3-point threat, but up and down the court, these two bigs will not stop moving. If Rudy takes any plays off, it's offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. It's these boys move. So Gafford's out there to get rebounds, get blocks, and put back dunks. And Lively can do a little bit of everything. I actually like the pick and roll with Luka and Lively too. So I like more Lively. I'll tell you that right now. But I know Gafford could be physical with Rudy, and we've seen Rudy, the physicalness bother Rudy at times. So I like that we could switch it up, and most importantly, I like that either one of them are slow on their feet.
The paint is going to be crowded, and that's what I love about the under in this one. Now, Leonard Porsche Jr., Leonard and I need success in the Operation Garcia so badly in this. And this is our chance, because what the problem that's hurting us is the Pacers are such a team. They spread out the offense. If Ant and Luka want to each put up 50 and the game is, around 210 points, we're going to make so much money, and we need to, because it's been a tough run for us right now. And Joseph Thompson has the 60-1 on the Wolves to win the championship from the beginning of the year. He's from the area. I'm thinking about you, man. Want you to get that cash. And then we have razor sharp picks on the Mavs to win it all. So, we know that one of our friends are going to be live and live at a big number. So that is game one. Dutch on the Mavs, full game plus 4.5 and minus 104. First half, plus 4.5 minus 104, and first half plus 2.5 at even money. We're both on the under 207. Dutch got minus 108 at Heritage. That's available right now. I got the minus 110 at Pinnacle, and I'm on the first half under 106. Astute Chaos on that first half under as well. It may the basketball gods keep this game from going to overtime, and all of these games going to overtime. That is the breakdown of tonight's Game 1 Western Finals. Let's talk about tomorrow night's basketball game. Here we go. Thursday, May 23rd, East Finals. Boston leading the series 1-0, and it was just a cavalcade of errors by the Pacers down the stretch to take this game, to allow this game to go to overtime. I could not believe the 2 turnovers in the last 30 seconds. 21 turnovers by the Pacers, and yet they still, should have won the basketball game. Another thing that I did not prepare myself for was 101.43 possessions a game for the two teams. I just didn't. And when the Pacers were forced to run the Knicks into the ground 8 possessions less a game, I did not see this coming, and it hurt me badly. The game soared over. What should have happened was it should have been a 117-116 final. It was going to be very tough to foul, though. It was a perfectly drawn up play for the Celtics, but even then, there's 233 points. The only player props we lost because it went to overtime was, Tatum and Jaylen Brown both went over in overtime. We were lucky that White didn't go over. BJ says, I think the Celtics go up 2-0, especially after a close game one loss. And Steve G back to the Pacers well. BJ back to the Celtics well. So in game one, the Pacers shot 53.5% from the field. We talk about things that we didn't expect. Look, I was just wrong. After the Pacers have the best shooting performance in NBA playoff history, I did not expect them to then go shoot 53.5 from the field and 37.1 from three. When they started out down 12-0, I was like, see, this is what happens after you have the best game in playoff history. And things changed real quick. For the Celtics, 47.5 from the field and 33.3 from three. Those numbers from three are buoyed by late. They shot the ball well very late. They were shooting horribly in the game. And yet this game was soaring over after that 12-0. After being down 12-0, this game just soared over so quickly. Let's go into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the line history, go into the cash flow, set up some X's and O's, and hear what Dutch wants to do in game two. We have the Pacers right now +9 at -106. They opened up at 8. Pinnacle opened this up at 8 at 11:03 p.m. yesterday. Sharps came in on the Celtics. Within 3 minutes, there was a 2-cent move to the Celtics. 2 minutes later, another 2-cent move to the Celtics. 1 minute later, 4 more cents towards the Celtics. 2 minutes after that, they moved it to 8.5. So that move again took 8 minutes. And then 16 minutes later, it was at 9. So the full point move took 24 minutes. Take that with however you want to. But the Sharps came in right away with limits. Of course, remember, with limits, started moving this towards the Celtics. This total at 224.5. After watching the pace. Now, the Celtics were like, I can't believe how fast they're playing. Now you have to expect them to prepare for that speed. This opened up at 224.5. Within 6 minutes, it went down to 223.5. So what are the Sharps expecting here? Are the Sharps expecting Missoula to put together a defensive game plan for the speed of which the Pacers are playing? Because this morning it moved to 224, and then 3 hours ago it moved to 224.5. We'll take a look at the cash flow. But after watching game one, how does this not keep climbing? Right. Yesterday's total was at 222.5, and it was climbing late. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in this one. 94% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the over. It's got to climb, doesn't it? Don't the books have to show some concern for how fast the Pacers played and how successful it was? On the spread, we have 73% of tickets and 78% cash on the Pacers, and it moved a point immediately. Ray Charles looking at Miles Turner's over. Drew Holiday said Holiday's busted 27 points of Derek White. Oh, sorry, that's from Juneteenth. Marcus McCarthy says whoever makes it out of the West is winning it all. Celtics still a big favorite to win it all. So Tatum goes for 36. He only had 26 heading into overtime. We would have cashed his under. Brown had that game-tying three-pointer with 6.1 seconds left, and that would have been still, if the game had ended there, Brown would have gone under. Tatum was a complete ball player. 36 points, 12 boards. He's been so good on the glass, and he's really, with conviction taking these rebounds. He's been very good. 4 assists, 3 steals as well, and he was a plus 20 in the game. Shot 12 of 26 from the field, but only 2 of 8 from 3. Drew Holiday, 28.7 boards, 8 assists. He was all over the floor. He was very, very good. And the defense was good. I mean, there was 21 turnovers for the Pacers, but they still looked a little uncomfortable with the speed of which the Pacers were playing. The Celtics were the first team in NBA history to have 3 players with 25 points and 3 steals in a game. Boston with Drew Holiday and Derek White. And Derek White did not look very good, made some key mistakes in that game. I mean, even in overtime, the fact that Tatum would grab a hold of Toppin for the rebound was shocking. Like, I just couldn't believe he would make that kind of a mistake, but it all worked out for them. The Celtics here had trouble with Tyrese Halliburton until Halliburton didn't look good late. 25 points, 10 assists for Halliburton. The Pacers had 13 threes, and the big thing, though, was in the paint. You know, Horford did not look good. They were taking advantage of Horford, and 56 points the Pacers scored in the paint. Spicy P, 24 and 12. He was hitting those J's and doing it with such ease. Miles Turner, 23 and 10. Here we go. Dutch boy fresh. Game 2. Pacers, Celtics, East Finals. Take it away.
Yeah, man. Watching this game, Indiana just offensively did whatever the fuck they wanted to. 38 assists. They turned the ball over 21 times. They cleaned that up and don't make some bonehead plays. And I mean, Carlisle said this morning this loss was on him. That's a well-seasoned coach coming out saying he's taking this on the chin. I mean, my money would be on him to bounce back. It will be on him to bounce back. I'll take the 9. I'll be on the over as well. I mean, shit, I'm not going to overthink this. This is backyard basketball. It's just a lot of talent out there and a lot, and you talked about it, Jim. Let's talk about it. Let's just go over it real quick. I mean, you said Derek White struggled. I mean, he had 15, 6, and 9. He made some bonehead plays, but 15, 6, and 9. You got Horford 15 and 6. Yeah, you'd like to see some more rebounds out of him. But I mean, Brown 26, 7, and 5. You got Holiday going 28, 7, and 8. You got Tatum 36, 12, and 4. Those, I mean, is it going to get much better than that? I mean, it's not going to get much better than that. And then you start looking down and you start seeing what you see in Denver a little bit. You're like, who do you want to call off the bench? I mean, who do you really want to call off the bench? I mean, you got Reggie Jackson in Denver, and I guess you could say you got Pritchard. I mean, he could catch fire. But Cornette, Pritchard, and Hauser, get the fuck out of here, man. I think we're really going to see these boys get exploited here. The bench was 30-13. 30-13. Obi Toppin looking like a dude because he looked good against New York too. I mean, you know what you get out of TJ McConnell. I mean, they got guys that can put the ball in the bucket and play defense coming off the bench. So it's leaps and bounds a better bench from Indiana's perspective. Boston played lights the fuck out pretty much as a starting team. Didn't shoot the ball well until it mattered, but all these guys just played, gave you what they give you. They're not going to give you much more. In my opinion. Now, can they give you more? Absolutely. But and can they shoot the ball better? Absolutely. But they did shoot, 47% from the field. They only shot 33% from 3. Indiana, though, just to give you an idea, they shot unbelievable game 7. We all know about that. But they still shot 53% from the field against this Boston defense, Jim, who doesn't look intimidating whatsoever. You touched on it. Siakam looks pretty fucking comfortable out there. He getting his by any, pretty fucking easily. And who are you scared of when you go in the paint? Who are you really scared of when you go in the paint? This is an unselfish team. They got 38 assists, so you're getting open shots. You got to knock them down. And Indiana's been doing it, man. They've been doing it. So you're going to give me 9 points. They out-rebounded them +1, so you're telling me that they can rebound with you. You got out free throws 10-30. Boston had 30 motherfucking free throws, so +20 in the free throw mark. You think that'll even out a little bit more in game 2. And I'm saying all this, and Indiana should have won this motherfucking basketball game. They really should have. They lost this one. Boston didn't win it. Indiana took the L. Shout out to JB for hitting the 3. But, I mean, it probably shouldn't even got to that, to be quite honest with you. So, the bench, I believe, shows up again. Miles Turner's got his thing going. Miles Turner, I like the look. I talked about it yesterday. I think he's over 15.5. It was yesterday. It's creeping up now. I believe he's getting 20 a game in this series. He's feeling himself against New York, and it'll continue because the matchups favor him. Indiana can compete on the boards, and I think they got one hell of a coach over there in Rick Carlisle, who's going to make adjustments and made mistakes in game 1. I think you can count on him to bounce back. So give me Indiana +9. Give me the over. They're going to keep running the basketball. I expect Boston to win this game. But I said Boston in 6, so I think Indiana wins both at home.
Wow. Okay, so Pacers +9 here. Let's line shop for
And-
you and the.
And let me ask you
over.
this, Jim. Let me ask you this real quick. Like, what makes you want to lay 9 points with this team right now? What would make you want to lay double digits with this Boston team? What you've seen recently against Cleveland, and then game 1 against Indiana? Was it not just a perfect fucking spot yesterday for them?
The only thing that makes me want to lay 9 is that the whole world's going to be on the Pacers.
Well,
That's it. That's it. So nothing from what I saw on the floor, nothing. But just from the bias, a recency bias that everyone's going to have, but nothing I saw on the floor. Just because the Pacers are, have when that starting 5, and they have bench plays, but that starting 5, everybody can score. Everybody.
Right, and they're unselfish, and they got 2 point guards. Not most teams don't got 1 point guard; they got 2.
Yeah, McConnell can really calm everything down, and no, I nothing from what I saw, but we just know that
I hear you. It's game to game, but I do believe you already said. Look how many sharps. The number already moved up. A lot of money's gonna be coming in on Boston now. But I feel you, like the average motherfucker gonna be like Indiana. We'll go to the window with Indiana. But yeah, eye test wise, man, I can't be trusting this Boston team. They go to their bench, they can't. They light as fuck on the bench. They're missing KP. When KP comes back, it might be a different story. But I'm not laying no double digits with this team anymore. Fuck that.
I'm that Heat says Pritchard 3's over is the move. I mean, it was. What do you think of Pritchard not playing in the second half? Not playing at all down in crunch time is. What did you think? Because he didn't miss a shot, I believe. Didn't he go 3 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 from 3?
Yeah, I just think he's light, man. He's just got no D, man. He's just a defensive liability. But I don't know. Maybe that's you think you get him out there to shoot the ball a little bit more. But I don't know about this coach. I think the book's really still open on this coach. Rick Carlisle's proven. I'm not co-signing what the fuck went down last night in Beantown, but I would expect him to definitely bounce back from that.
I'm very interested to what we're going to see here. So I'm going to take with the market. And not the actual line movement, even though that's so important, but just the cash. So I'm going to take a picture of it right now, and so we can talk about it again tomorrow. We only have 3,579 tickets in. So I've just taken a picture of it. I've got it here. Come on. Yeah, there it is. I got the screenshot there. So we'll remember this. We're going to take a look at this in 24 hours. Right now, 73% of tickets, 78% of cash is on the Pacers, and I expect that both to be over 80. Oh no, I don't know about the money. Like Dutch saying that he thinks there'll still be sharp action on the Celtics, but the percentage of bets I expect to be over 80. And Dutch moving on the over as well. Let's take a picture of that. So that's at 94 and 95 right now on the over. So we can talk about that 24 hours from now as well. So I've got those both set up here. Dutch Boy Fresh moving on the Pacers +9, and there's nothing on the floor that would make me want to challenge that at this point. Mikey Money says when teams last met and over, last played the number 1 seed, opposition went to the game 7, 4-2 against the spread, but 6-1 to the over, around resulting around 220 points. Around 220 points. And there you go. Locked and loaded. Dutch Boy Fresh on the Pacers +9 at -106, over 224.5 -106. And I'm going to need more time here on this one, but excellent breakdowns from Dutch Boy Fresh. And today he's also on the under 207 with me and doubling up on the Mavs first half and full game. Dutch, thank you so much for your time. Love having you here on Wednesdays. Please support Dutch on X at Dutch Boy Fresh. And of course, he is the star of Medicate Mondays alongside Dabra Cadabra, Mikey Money, Razor Sharp Picks, and Jose Bouquett. And LJ from H-Town when he is available. We love LJ so much. Dutch, my man, thank you for rocking with us. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Jim. Let's get back in the black, my man. Let's get some W's tonight. Big games tonight, big game tomorrow. Appreciate all the real ones holding us down. Y'all stay fresh.
There he is, Dutch boy, fresh in the house. All right, let's get Jose Bouquett back here and review all action. Jose, my friend. NHL.
Quick thing.
Yeah,
Joe Mazzulla is a better coach than Rick Carlisle. That's on God. Joe Mazzulla, last 5 years, who's won more playoff series, Joe Mazzulla or Rick Carlisle? Joe Mazzulla.
Of course. I mean, Joe Mazzulla was gifted a great basketball team. So I mean,
so some would say Rick Carlisle would have some good teams in Dallas.
Yeah,
Luka.
That's right. I do not think that Mazzulla is a better coach than Rick Carlisle. But that's part of the fun is breaking these down. I don't. Mazzulla's not done enough to impress me. The Celtics haven't been challenged, and we're finally seeing them being challenged a bit, and it was not a pretty performance here. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And are you backing your Celtics in game 2?
No, I don't bet the NBA or the NBA. That's the no betting association. I stick with the why not betting association, the WNBA. And Mikey, you might have missed it. Seattle Storm first half -3, -105. Come on.
In NHL tonight, Florida Rangers, nothing for me. First period Oilers, full game Oilers. Full game +113. First period +105. Oilers, game 1. They keep rolling. We'll review best bets from our cappers in the chat. Stacks play today. Soto over 1.5 bases and Tucker RBI. LJ from H-Town on Yankees money line. Judge over 1.5 bases and the under in tonight's Dallas-Minnesota game. And we've heard that Ski, Profit, and Boban are on the over. Morgan Spooner, Rangers money line, Royals money line. Subhuman Gaucho, hockey play today. Tarasenko over 1.5 shots on goal at -115. The Subhuman Gaucho hockey play today up 16.37 units. And that's just 28 and 24. Always finding those plus
God
lines.
Damn.
Pig Milk play today. San Francisco, Pittsburgh, first 5 under 3.5 at +101. And the Pig Milk play of, tough call on the 3-0 count. The Pig Milk play of the day is 23 and 17 plus 7.83 units. Mike Wilkerson, Dodgers run line, Guardians money line. Then Wine Time Sports 2-unit play.
Fuck.
Come on, drop. Second, no. 2-unit play of the day, Texas, Philadelphia over 9.5. So Jose and I are in trouble here.
We're in the ringer right now. We're in the vortex.
Simi Jake Irvin pitched great. I mean, Jake Irvin did everything we asked of him.
By the way, I saw a tweet from an Astros beat writer that says basically it was like the Astros bullpen is fucking ran ragged and exhausted. So I hope that 1.5 covers. Shots of cash go. We need a lot of Hunter Brown today.
The Mets are rolling, and Jose Quintana, as the market has constantly been predicting for him, when the market's backing him, he's pitching really well. So Jose's on the Mets -107, so that will handle you. I'm in trouble. But I've got my unders popping off here in Detroit, thankfully. First 3 under 2, first 5 under 3.5. I'm going to be moving on this. Oh, come on. What about this one? Oh, God, to the warning track. First 5 under 3.5 in Milwaukee, Miami. I'll be moving on here shortly. Daby Cab's on the Padres team total over 4.5. Jose's on the first 5 under 4 at -125 in Giants Pittsburgh. I got that at -120. Has that moved yet? I'll look at that. I'm surprised it's not moving. 10 cents better than that Pinnacle. Why don't we see Pinnacle had that at -130? Why don't we just go to Pinnacle? I've got that up right now. A Pinnacle on that first 5. That first 5 here in the Giants.
They're pulling Woods Richardson.
Wow. Well, wow.
Oh, fuck yeah. They got the fucking bullpen card. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
The Giants Pirates game. Oh, there it is. The first 5 under, they had it -130. Now it's -133. Come on, bet 365's got to move this, don't they have to? Let's just quickly take a look at what they're doing here on this one. Sorry, you guys. I know I could just do this on my own time, but here we go. The first 5 under not moving. That's just confusing. Okay, then Daby Cab's on the first 5 over 5 in Rangers, Philadelphia. Jose's on the Rangers money line. I expect to be on the Rays in the full game under. I need a little bit more time with that one. Jose's on the over 8 in Seattle, New York, and the spreadsheet dog is Seattle. White Sox, Blue Jays, we stayed off. Braves, Cubbies, we stayed off. First 5 under 5, I expect to bet here in Colorado, Oakland. Sorry, that's not under 5. That's just I wrote that first under 5, but it's first 5.
I was going to say, well, that was not a confident sounding bet right there, Jimmy.
Oh, it was just I know it's not a 5, right? That's all. So I'll figure that. And then Arizona, LA, I'm off. So I don't have too much action. I am on the unders tonight in basketball. First half under, full game under. I'll be very nervous watching it. Dutch is on the under with me. Mavs full game plus 4.5, first half plus 2.5. And then Dutch is on Pacers plus 9 and the over 224.5 in Pacers Celtics. I need to study that a little longer. But what I need is in these series, I need superstar stuff. I need Tatum to go for 60 in one of these games. That's the only way that we can get back in range. We got crushed with the overtime game yesterday.
Our pal Kelsey wants to know what side were you on in Rangers Panthers? You didn't pick a side, I believe.
I have the Panthers at 5-1 to win the conference, $400, and 10-1 to win the cup. I did sort of a hedge out of it because I also have the Oilers to win the cup from the beginning of the year. So I did sort of hedge out of it with I parlayed the Stars and the Rangers. Plus 326 for $350 just to make about like 1,100 profit or something like that. Is that over? Hitting over?
Yeah. Fucking 1-0 disaster. Fucking garbage. That's the worst. When you pick the pitcher to do well and you fucking can't scratch across a run with the fucking total going up the whole time too. Disgusting stuff.
That's frustrating. But we got lots of action still to go and we need to get paid in full. So that is our show for today. Redbeard, like in White Sox first 5. Look, any bet against the Jays at that number makes sense, but I think Bassett probably shoves today. I am actually interested in that under. But I will be
trying to find spots to fade the White Sox, or not the White Sox, the Blue Jays for sure. You know, I think like you mentioned the other day, don't fade them against the best teams, but when they're playing shit teams.
I agree with that.
You bet on against them, yeah.
I think the Blue Jays can be bet on at times against the very best teams in the league. I agree with that. And then we also have to kind of be on unders as well.
I mean, yeah, this is not a mentally strong team. Why would they show up against shit teams? They probably think they're better and they just go out there and don't give any effort. And then against good teams, they actually lock in for once. I mean, it makes sense.
You know, Bo Bichette and Vladdy have perfect lives. You know, they're perfect lives. Everything's going well for them. So I don't know. It sucks having you want guys who fought their way. You know, I felt bad that Julio Rodriguez had to sign that contract. You know, maybe it costs him $100 million, but he has a family that needs that money.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing with Ronald and Ozzy Albies and a lot of the Latin American players like that as well.
Yeah, their family needs the money, but here you have Bo and Vladdy. They can just sit back and wait because they had everything.
That is constantly why Venezuelan baseball players get fucked in contract negotiations.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah,
maybe that's my next career path. I'm gonna step up and be a player agent, and I'm just be like,
that'd
guys,
be a great idea. That could still be something you could do now.
Like Venezuelans, we cannot get fucked anymore.
No, I mean,
hilarious.
Yeah, one thing that was my mistake was when I stopped, around 14 or 15, when I just couldn't do the things I was doing in sports, when I was like 12, 13, I just, was getting beaten up and all that stuff. I wish I understood that you don't need to play to be involved in professional sports. Like, it just never occurred to me that you could, I was at York University here, and I should have walked on and been an assistant coach for the hockey team, but it just never occurred to me that was even an option. But whatever, that's another story. Thank you guys, all of you guys in the chat. It means a ton. Dahmer, Doug, Juneteenth, Kelsey, Seven Hills Capper, Mikey, Mike, Justin McKelvey, Alfred 44, Marty Riggs. Thank you guys. Redbeard, Wine Time, tuning up play for Wine Time here. Joseph Gomez, Steve G. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Al Cervic, BJ just moved on the Rangers, tailing Jose and loving it. Storage Club, Zoe Faye. Thank you guys. Preston Ekdahl says, rewatch the Bucks Pacers game. Milwaukee showed exactly how to beat them. They just didn't have the talent. If Missoula is smart, he will figure it out.
Well,
Brent Cook says,
Drew Holiday put Tyrese Halliburton in hell when he had to. Put him in fucking hell.
Yeah. I mean, Halliburton couldn't get to the hoop, but he was still hitting outside shots. I mean, that 3-pointer off the backboard that went in at the end of the third quarter.
There's no fucking way that motherfucker shoots that percentage from 3 with that jank ass shot.
Look, I said that before they just broke the record. And then tomorrow I'm gonna have to take all the player props under. You know, it's just awesome.
Yes, you are. I think about you all the time. I was hurting for you last night when Jalen hit that 3. I was like, oh no.
Like there was just, you know, at that point, like I can't eat, can't do anything. I'm just frozen trying to focus on tomorrow's action, and there's this pit in my stomach. And we don't need to get into it. But I didn't wake up wallowing. I woke up ready to get paid, and the Nationals and Irvin delivered, and I couldn't get it. Very, very upsetting. Thank you guys all so much. A ton of work to do on a giant show tomorrow, but it'll be a little bit less. We're going to have a little bit less games. So we will have the $100 horse race. On behalf of all of us, Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much. Jose, do you want to bless our action? And Joseph Gomez says, did Bo Bichette finally find the House of Lancaster in Toronto? That is one of the last spots here in the city with contact dances. Contact.
I've told Alexis, because I've told her I want to go to Canada and such, and then I said, yeah, contact dances, Montreal, and she has no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
But Lancaster, contact dances, and more if you
in Toronto.
Oh yeah. If you're so interested, lots more offered there as well. A lot more. Whole menu offered at the.
I'm interested. I find myself very interested, and then at some point, I will find myself no longer interested at all.
Correa has hit a homer. We are 2-0 Twinkies. 2-0 Twinkies. Well, so we're done. So I mean, I don't. We just had that first 5. 3-0 Mets. 1-0 Orioles in the top of the third, and no score through the first inning. So if I can get to the third inning, I'll be even. And then if we can get to the 5th inning, I can be up moving into the later games this afternoon.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you. And I'm That Heat says you slipped up and called Helga by her real name.
I do go back and forth between Alexis and Helga. So shout out to both of them.
Yeah, she prefers Helga.
I mean, I obviously introduced her to Pavone as Helga. Like, this is Helga, a.k.a. Alexis. So it was good. So shout out to Helga.
I only saw Alexis at that horse track after you paid for all of Helga, your friend, and yourself to go into the free horse track.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. It was great. And she won. She won her bets. She won a few bets.
The laughs, though, for you to start out down $50 before you made a bet is so funny.
It was classic. I mean, yeah, it was great. And guess what? The crawfish weren't that good, apparently. And I brought, because I obviously don't eat them. I was told they're the cockroaches of the sea. I was like, oh, good. So I brought them to my parents, who also did not eat them as well. So it's a good time. It's a great time.
It was awesome. That was the funniest part. The second funniest is when we started cheering for Mikey's dog, and he just busted a right turn for no reason.
That did fucking kill me. That did fucking kill me. But shout out to Mikey. I mean,
yeah,
it's my favorite clip. My favorite picture.
Back in business. All right, Jose, can you please bless our action and lead us into the future, my friend? Thank you guys all. Stakes are high. Let's deliver. Let's cash these unders in Detroit, Kansas City. I had to go back to being a 10-year-old, and when I was 13, watching, showing up at school, and everyone's like, principal's gone with the secretary. And his sick wife, just heartbreaking. But he did do the same thing that I believe is saying that Cole Raggins here. I'm sorry, I went back to being a Little League ball player. Jose, take us home, my man.
It's all right. I was very interested in that story. Shout out to all the deadbeat high school coaches out there. We appreciate your services for all you do. Shout out to all the gamblers in the chat. Mikey, Eric, Joseph, I'm that heat. Even Jeffrey Dahmer, who was on one today, of course. But shout out to you as always. Shout out to everyone watching the program. Let's go get some fucking money today, guys. We fucking need it badly as always. And let's have an under and one person scoring a bunch of points today in those NBA games. Only one each. Leche. Hey, los book.